welcome to Shark Tank Shallow Waters. I'm Tense Microwave.
My name is Twilight, and we're gonna be casting the first blocker tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go.
We're just gonna be waiting on this first set to come right up. We got any expectations for tonight, Twilight?
I want to see Pocket Aces kind of get the gold bracket with this one. I think they definitely have the experience to get gold bracket this time around, and it's definitely possible. I've played against them in a Shark Tank, and the main reason that my group won was that we kind of just stuck to go with, and we just won our fights. Like, it was a very good set, and I'm excited to see them play. What about you?
I'm saying my expectation. What do we got? What weapon do I think I'm gonna see? For some reason, there's gonna be a gold air spray. Watch it happen. This is my prediction. We're going gold. Watch this
I am
power
so
control
here
cheese
for
go
it.
nuts. It could be. They
Three.
could go Forge Pro, but honestly, gold air spray. It's somewhere in bracket, and we gotta find it. It's like playing Where's Waldo, you know?
Real. 3 mains of charge up, gold arrow, be like.
Dude, 3 mains of charge up. Funnier if they ran open a gamut though. But we're not playing for funny. We're playing for booyah bombs on tower control.
Yeah. We love the Bia Bomb.
Good bomb. But yeah, I'm not sure what you even could really realistically expect from a Shark Tank Shallow Waters. It can get pretty volatile in tournaments like these. You're gonna always be on your toes, watching the violent swings between matches.
I mean, I've seen things like I think I've seen like a YouTuber before or something. Like, you don't. Like, there can be like one random team with the most wacky comp you can ever have, and you're just like, oh, alright, let's do it.
Gonna see that Swig Wiper Undercover Umbrella combo and just it go crazy for some reason. Watch it happen.
Yeah. We're gonna start getting ready for our first set. We're gonna start casting 6-pack yokes and S5. I've heard a bit about 6-pack yokes. I know that they have a dapples from I think either Conoco or but honestly not really much else.
Yeah, I mean, I ran into some of the 6-pack yoke members at Riptide once, so that's really all I really know about them. I don't really got my head too deep in this community, so
Yeah. I know that they run like some type of backless thing. If anything, I think they have like a splat ring, but regardless, it's gonna be a pretty fun set to watch. We're gonna start with Rainmaker Scourge. Generally you see a lot of like backlands for this type of comp, like for this stage, like a pencil or an E-leader, a heavy, things like that. I wonder if we're gonna be seeing that, or if we're gonna be seeing something different, like a heavy edit or more of a backless comp.
yeah, you definitely tend to see backlanders on the map that perch, holding the ramp. You got some really good spots to hold. It's really hard to run across crates, so really there's only one approach option on this map. You could also expect to see maybe some hard-hitting frontliners or some brute force special weapons, like, I don't know, like a slosher. Something that can really blow up that ramp to get you that first checkpoint nice and easy.
Yeah. I'd say a lot of it is also going to be you want to make sure you have at least one entry. Like getting a Tri-Strike or a Bia Bomb paired with like a Tactical or something to help win the fight, get a first check, and keep your momentum going pretty quickly. Will help you guys get set up relatively well. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this, and we'll just see what they bring out, honestly. What do you think we're going to be seeing outside of that?
Outside of that, maybe we'll see a
Yeah.
sploosh or a well string. It's something that can pop that Rainmaker shield quickly. You want to always be able to pick it up and get that momentum right back in it.
I would love to see a sploosh in the Rainmaker, dude.
They did just nerf its points for
amazing to
special, so
see.
we might not see it. Oh no, the sploosh nerf. They killed the weapon, guys.
I mean,
Anyways,
that's fair.
we're getting right into this match.
Teams are loading up on it here, so let's see what the comps are
See what
going to
we're
be.
working with.
Nintendo moment, gotta love it.
seeing a gold dynamo mini dapple bucket. Another gold dynamo. We're seeing a lot of rollers in this lobby and some shooters too. Purple team's
Okay.
going to be very close range oriented, looking for those angles and corners, while yellow team is going to be a little more well rounded, just trying to play to their range values.
No stealth on the mini too, which I found kind of interesting. Still wanting to play more a supportive type of role to help give the team some recon along the dapple. Karma's
Oh,
immediately going for a pick, falls to the pit on the right side.
and the bucket takes this high ground position. Very oppressive. Does get a pick. Almost
Holy.
going down. This should be an easy Rainmaker grab. Comes the
Yeah.
pinch. The Rainmaker shot. It goes off. The Dynamo's living on a prayer. Able to trade up the Rainmaker too.
Early rain grab leading to like about 3 people falling down, and we're just struggling to get these super jumps out from back, falling down to the zap, getting traded out. This is just deathmatch from left, right, and center. There's no set push yet.
Very back and forth opening. The whales might help open up the map, but don't really work. And now purple team's really split. Can they use this angle to pressure, or will they just kind of have to back up? And it looks like they had to
Yeah.
back up as the Rainmaker starts inching forward towards this ramp. First threshold reached. The Dynamo could get
We're
a
already
double. It
seeing a
doesn't.
dive. We're seeing
But
a dive. 2 down on both sides, relatively even. They're gonna get the pop. Are they gonna be able to get check here? Yes, they
yeah,
do.
quick check.
S5 not really able to stop them from getting check. And that's another
Oh,
pop. Carbon down.
yeah, getting a kill off that pop could really help them with momentum if they don't go down themselves, but they do. Oh, they don't. The Dynamo
They
gets a nice
don't
ledge
expect the
kill. Oh, and there they go.
dynamo.
But the Rainmaker's just moving. 36. That could be
Holy.
a game-winning lead right there. But we'll have to see
And
how
that
Purple reacts to this.
six pack still putting on a lot of pressure though. They're not stopping it all until S5 just forces a full cleanup. That is the
It's not
pot.
clean
We're
yet.
still
That
gonna
bucket's
see the
still on snipe
bucket.
and getting jumps.
We're gonna be nearing up on this hammer soon. Gonna back out from the ramp. Still gonna try to hold this aggressive position and still play on the left side, trying to make sure that, we're not giving up too much space. Whale and Cooler are out from S5. We're looking to see if we can get any sort of entry here with this Carbon. And Azuka comes out as well.
A lot of specials being thrown here, but not much value from Purple side. Yellow is getting six-pack Yokes is getting plenty of value from their special weapon, but S5 just shuts
Ooh,
down
the
the
double.
Rainmaker.
S5's shutting down the Rainmaker with that Carbon, and now it's 3 down on the side of 6-packs. S5's going to be able to get their push, get the checkpoint, and yeah, they finish off the doubles too. That's a huge stacker.
Yes, Purple is actually starting to get the momentum. This, if they can sustain and live through some and put on more pressure, this could be their chance to flip the match on its head.
Yeah, I mean, with the mini Dynamo paint, I mean, you can't really do much about it outside of just going to try to get points. Mini is a hammer at the ready. Carbon flank. Well, hold on. Is this gonna be this is 2? Do they get the 3rd? No.
Oh, but the Rainmaker gets the 40, the wider route, just barely misses
Oh
the
no.
lead, but they're just fighting for
Do they get the
pop
pop?
now. They won't get the pop. Can they get the grab though? They
They don't.
can't.
That. Ooh.
And the yellow team just moves it to a really unfortunate position. If
Yeah.
S5 can hold this spot, they might have another chance at pushing, but if six-pack drops off the side, it might be curtains.
Ooh, 6-pack's gonna be able to stop the Rainmaker, get the pick.
I think we're going to the spot. That's right. Have you guys, anyone at Riptide 2025 knows this spot very well. We're just going to be chilling down here until a Trizuka or a Super Chumps helps to flush out that Rainmaker. It's a pretty bad situation for S5 right now, especially with six-packs on their plat. On their plat.
Yeah, 6-pack is just cleaning everyone up. Like S5 is just trying to drop on the Rainmaker, take that flank. I'm guessing in 6-pack comms, they're just calming out anyone going on a flank, and this bucket is just able to deal with it. Like, anytime there's a flank happening, boom, it's just gone until the Rainmaker finally goes.
I didn't even catch what the Rainmaker died to, but I'm sure it was that 52 gal diving. We are about or getting ready to pick it up. Not quite yet, playing a little patient, maybe looking for a pick before quite grabbing
Ooh,
that
the
fish.
dapple.
But yellow team going for the fish, dropping it right back into that position. We have
Another drop.
neglected the objective, and now we only have 10 seconds to get it out of this pit.
Cooler at the ready with the aura. Zap's gonna pop it and grab. I like this option. Burying the bomb too. They're just gonna try to wait for a draw, try to make sure that they're not in the Rainmaker free zone, and now we're into overtime.
We're going a little fast. Again, it's a team that has the potential to have a sharking dabble dualies. The older stamp hitting the bridge with the stamp throw. We're just going to have to
Oh
spam shots
no.
because we just need to clear space for our super jumps. We ourselves are falling into a stalling pit, and that is just an unfortunate tripping and fumbling into a lost match.
That
Unfortunate.
and
Just the
that
way
is
of
game
Rainmaker.
1 to 6-pack yokes.
But I
Honestly, a lot at the start was just holy deathmatch. You're just trying to take fights, practically dive them, and get your team to take the objective, take the early lead, and then play patient, play the stall game, and just let them come trickling to you. And in the end, that's what ended up happening with 6-pack yokes. They were able to get the early check, get the lead, and boom.
given our weapons, it definitely is a very kill-centric based match. It was very back and forth with trades and things. Players weren't quite getting into positions until the special weapons went flying, and that is when everything locked in and 6-pack got their 36 lead. But that's also how S5 got their 40 lead. We could be looking at a good next set back in terms of being back and forth coming up on ship-shaped zones.
Ship-shaped zones is another map that is heavily centered towards like a lot of long-range maps wanting to exert that pressure. But I wonder if we're just going to be seeing a lot of the same thing like we saw last time with that holy deathmatch to start, and then it just trickles on down at the end.
Yeah, as we load into the match, are we going to see any major comp changes? Not from 6-pack, but maybe no.
No,
Both same
no
comp,
changes
sticking
at
to
all.
our guns.
I understand it though. They're both like, hey, it worked, and we can still win the next one, so why change it?
S5 is thinking, well, we don't want to make ourselves uncomfy on the back foot, but we're going to see some very standard early positioning from 6-pack, but S5 running it down pretty early, taking some early
Ooh.
trades in their favor.
2 down already from 6-pack. They did get the tactical route, but I don't think either. So they're able to start setting up pretty early. Pretty slow at that, though. They do have specials online, but now 6-pack is already returning back with those tri-strikes, and this Dynamo is just trying to hold.
Unfortunately, the Dynamo can't stop the rest of the team, but maybe the Zuka can, getting one trade, maybe disorientating this retake enough for S5 to get back into action. We're going to be seeing
We're gonna
some very scrappy fighting around mid. The 52 taking a trade back and maybe preventing Yellow from 6-pack from getting across that top mid. Unfortunately, opting to dive the Dynamo and get the kill. We're looking at a
well, like
good
that from the
retake from
52.
S5.
Yeah, the 52 is able to just push from that right side and just pull whole flank behind them. The only person that didn't fall was the Dapples because they were able to roll off of their jump. But still, S5 gonna have the pretty early lead here. 3.5 minutes left, and 6-pack is just able to take control of the zone with the strikes.
I don't know, but I've seen crazier matches get flipped. 6-pack is probably going to get that lead back on this hold if they can keep things stable.
Carbon backtracking with the
Chasing
Zuka falls to the
this fight into
bomb.
their own spawn.
Now we're gonna see where 6-pack really does know how to play the game. They're able to set up their hold pretty dang well. The Bucket's just gonna camp by this left side, making sure no one's gonna flank. And there's the aura from the pick. Hammer's out as well. And now we're in full lockout scenario.
We need a miracle for S5. And that miracle Zuka could get a tri-strikes too, but they don't. They're out of bullets and they can't really hold this position anymore. The miracle doesn't quite happen here, but hey,
And
that's
everyone's
just
just
what
falling.
happens in zones.
Well done to 6-pack for knowing that, hey, we know that we know the 52 flanked. We know that it's practically a deathmatch at this point. We're still going to play our game. We're going to take our fights together and go set up into positions that are good for our weapons. And we need someone to help on the top left as well. And so we sent our bucket to do that. And all
Figured
that
out
just contributed to the lockout that they had.
Yeah, they figured out exactly how to lock out, especially when they sent that player on the enemy team's plat. Mwah. That's how you know when the game is almost over. But not always does the game end right there. You can always get that miracle Zuka like what the Carbon rolled out, or those times where the 52 just perfectly got behind Six Pack and was able to cause some chaos.
For sure. That was a very well played game from Six Packs and S5. Also with the 52, just trying to get that flank even. It was very beneficial to give them that early lead, and overall just keep up some pressure for a good amount of time. Well fought for both sides on that match, but we're gonna be headed into Clemblitz Umami up next, and honestly, I can see it for both the comps.
Let me get a little brackets. Get some info here. Okay, so chat. 13 of you guys, actually 12 because I'm just tabbed in to look at chats. I got an idea. What if we collectively took a BuzzFeed quiz? I'm going to look up which Lego Ninjago character are you, and we're going to answer some questions.
We do have a third match from Clamblitz and Umami coming on up for both these teams, so we may have to look at the BuzzFeed quiz for later. No comp changes from the side of Six Packs, nor S5 either.
Okay, it's not BuzzFeed.
Found a
Oh wait, we
streamer
are
moment.
back in the match because this is a play all three.
No comp changes either from both sides. We're gonna start out trying to fight for top end pretty early. Carbon
Yeah,
down
we're
early. The
taking that
bucket is on
strong
top.
position. Hopefully the Dynamo gets on that top mid with the bucket. But the bucket seems to be holding it on their own, and Dynamo just pushing forward instead, opting to cover more space and get more clams. The ball goes in, and we'll have to see how Yellow can sustain this push.
3 down early from the side of S5, and Six Pack's going to be able to start a pretty early push. Seems like they're able to both footballs in early. Strikes are out and fall down to the end zap. And honestly, a very strong push coming out from Six Pack's Yokes early on. If you're able to get a push below to start, you are pretty much good for the whole game if you know you have defense.
That is true. We are just continuing in with the Ultra Stamp. It doesn't, even though the basket is closed, it looks like Six Pack still has control of the enemy spawn. This mini is just being inevitable in this plat, especially because they can back up to that mountain and just hold. But they don't even have to do that, getting down to 48 points and almost a ball, but not quite.
And
this could be a push they win off of. This could be a push they win off of. We'll see how Purple reacts.
Everyone is pretty staggered though, so I don't think there's going to be too much coming out of it. Just another fight for mid, and people are just going down left and right. 2 down from the side of S5, as we're going to see one of them fighting top early. This fifth, the ends up fighting top early, just trying to find a pick. They're not able to find anything just yet. There we go. That's the opening pick. Super Chum's out as well. 2 down from the side of Pacquiao. And now we can start pushing up a bit.
You get this cascade of pick and advent and new ways to find the snowball advantage. But for some reason, S5 hasn't found their in quite yet. But this Zuka could be it. Not necessarily aimed at the dome. And they're just gonna keep on holding at this ramp. Maybe eventually another special comes out. But the ball does sneak in right under our noses. But there's no real follow-up. How could they continue this push?
I think a lot of it is just going to come down to S5 trying to get one shark in, whether it be from the 52, from the Carbon, some sort of way to get them in. And we're going to see the 52 try to do that 2 down from the side of Six Pack. But honestly, it's not going to bring too much coming out since like in the end of it all, Six Pack still has a lot of control over the
game. And we are just looking at just some kind of sort of pseudo-neutral. I mean, Six Pack is still plenty available to hold this position and keep their lead. Waiting for specials to come offline and picking out the sharking members on S5.
We're starting to see the Dano get pretty low. 52 on the flank. Mini's going to be able to clean that up. And we've 2 down from the side of Six Packs. This could be their entry if they just push it.
Only if they push it, but I don't think that Six Packs really wants to push it. They don't want to risk
Yeah.
anything major with a with a lead that could win, but it's still not. It's still got plenty of time. A minute and a half is still plenty of time in Splatoon time. You know, we don't have much of an attention span, so it feels like an hour and a half, to be honest. Still
You
plenty of
are
time
not
for
wrong.
pushes.
3
And
down from
the
6-pack
extra
Yokes.
power
This is
clamp.
their opening if they get a football in.
There's the ball. We have not
Getting the
much
ball in. Do we
follow-up clams
follow
though.
up?
We have 0 clams to score with.
Not
And
just yet. 6-pack was able
only
to come back from spawn quick enough to stop S5 from getting their push in. Really good
yeah,
effort from S5 there, but just unfortunate pacing-wise.
it's not going to take much more for S5 to get a good overtime push. So they can find a way to get in, but they're getting staggered. Unfortunately, this overtime push might not happen because Six Pack is just locking in and going for
Yeah,
potentially another score to just further the lead and bury the hatchets. There it is, a double ball to
and there's the
22 as
score.
well.
And we're seeing all these clams come in. 6-pack practically used everything except the hammer for that push. And S5's just gonna be able to clean it up. They can try to force an overtime with that pin clam. But with 6-pack Yoke's defense coming out strong, it's gonna be hard to see them try to get in definitive opening.
Yeah, but they will have that pity clam, that last glimmer of hope in this set. Will they be able to start moving it through mid? If they don't get it moving through mid by now, they may not have enough time to get up the ramp. That or they need a super jump.
The
Looking
Zook
for
is out as
picks,
well.
2
52
down,
coming in to
but
find
the
Pig.
ball is
It's
dropped. We might not get it in because we just don't
52
have it
finding
moving.
all of the picks for this push, but it just doesn't matter.
Wait,
We're just
we get that ball in
there's
because
a
the
jump.
52 had 7.
Oh
No!
no!
A
That
tragedy! The
that
delay before
is
the
so
score.
unfortunate. The
It's happened
52,
too many times to too many good teams.
yes, the 52 was doing practically the Lord's work out there in overtime. They picked off practically everyone from 6-pack Yokes, and yet the delay in scoring just it's truly just a Nintendo moment by that point. Well fought by S5 for the overtime push that they accumulated at the end. However, the game and the set is going to go to 6-pack Yoke.
Unfortunate. That's just how strict overtime is. Nintendo, an overall game is designed to really want you to push before that timer hits 0. You really got to make sure you're moving. If you have the Rainmaker, you need some momentum before it explodes on you. If you're in the tower, you have to make sure the blaster has 0% chance of shooting at it. In Rainmaker, in overtime, it's such a fragile game state, but it's gonna be so good if you just pull it back. I'm looking at the top right corner of the stream, and I am seeing a pug.
That is a pug. Wait, the pug's so cute.
I don't know what he's doing
Oh my
there, but I
God.
just noticed him.
It's that weird thing you don't really notice until you just point it out, and you're like, oh wait, that's actually kind of cool.
It's a
It's
pibble.
a pibble.
We've been recently informed that it is in fact a pibble. Not just any other pug, but Mr. Pibble himself. Or maybe not him. My apologies, Pibble.
Alright, do we want to do that? Wait,
Yeah,
chat,
we
do you
can
want
do
to
some
the
audience.
BuzzFeed
If we could have some
trivia?
audience participation, please. Doesn't look like chat's very active, so maybe we'll delay this for a little bit later, unless I'm seeing a little more see more activity from chats, because it's gonna be a little hard to have chat take a U quiz. It's not a BuzzFeed. It's a U quiz with me. Yeah, there ain't no one yapping in chat.
Alright, so I'm taking a look at the bracket, and what surprised me immediately, Pocket Aces got 0-3'd by Bay is Life.
Interesting. Should be looking at.
I have a
super
lot of
upset
questions
teams.
about how that happened.
Dude, these was some guys we were thinking about them going far. Man,
I am very
could be
sure that
you
they
can get some unfortunate sets though.
Yeah, I still believe in Pocket Aces if they can get gold and play for podium. That just surprised me a lot.
Interesting. Well, no gold air spray. Not yet. We'll get it there eventually. Get there eventually.
That
Gotta fill that
That's
quota
cool.
somehow.
a very fun set to watch. It was amazing to see the flanks coming out from that 52 and six-pack defense just holding all of that down. And it just came to a lot of when are you able to pull off the right flank at the right time to get all the value possible, right? What else do you do outside of that?
I don't know. It's just the way the game goes. Okay, I got an idea. So, we're gonna do a little thing. I'm just gonna look up the patch notes, to be honest, and we're gonna give each patch notes a ranking, each change a ranking from 1 to 5, and see if we can figure out how this will affect the trout population. Trouts are the Iniki Nova players? So,
I
a scale of
mean,
1 to 5. Splash Shot Nova, a 5 being the best, it's the best thing to happen in the game. It will save Splatoon. 1 being, why did they do this? We've ruined everything. Splash Shot Nova, 25% bullet velocity, 1 to 5. What are we thinking?
I'll say that Nova is probably like a 3. It's not gonna have that much impact on the, at least for now. We're not gonna it because its kits incentivize a lot of you enable someone, right? But you can see more use out of it for either kit, honestly. I mean, you have the mine in a jet to help stabilize, and you have the whale and a sensor to enable some more aggressive for your frontline slayer, right? Like if you were to pair a Nova with the decaf or something, right? The whale forces them out of position, and the decaf, if they're there, can just go kill them with the widest possible.
I was thinking more of a 4. I actually kind of like this to be it kind of fits the identity of Nova without making it too powerful and feeling bad for the game. I mean, that got the Kyo post talking about all those Novas in X rank. I'm not sure if it's bait. Could be bait. Could be real. Who knows? People probably just like their inkjets, to be honest.
It could
But
be
I'm
big,
a
yeah.
fan of it. I'm a fan of shot velocity on the weapon. Maybe there could have been options of like, oh hey, it's skill expression for leading shots. But then again, I don't want to lead shots on Nova. I just want to just shoot at people at range.
Yeah. Honestly, Nova is now in a state, and this is Nova Glaze, I know, but Nova is now in a where it could actually be, where I think it could be used a little bit as like a possible niche. It still isn't amazing, but it at least has some sort of niche to like allow like for the bullets to where you can still paint, but now you have a better time killing, which is a very important thing in Splatoon. Where if you take a look at like 52 or shot, you're able to kill people in like 3 hits, and it like 2 to 3 hits, and it doesn't take too long. But now Nova can enter a little bit if you pair it with a very good Slayer.
Definitely some good options for the Nova players out there who can like this patch. Flings a roller. I don't know actually. Okay, did they buff the vertical or the horizontal? Because that might. Because if that's not a typo, then I remember seeing Chara test this in a private battle, and the range increased by like 1%. Yes.
And they made it, supposedly, they made it to where Flingza would be able to poke better.
So what they did is they made it so the 50 damage vertical would go further, and the 100 damage of the vertical would also be further. But like, it didn't? If anything, the change was so unnoticeable that I don't think any Flingza players are happy. If anything, they'd be mad because they got baited for some reason.
Yeah. Oh no, I haven't tested it yet. I'm not a roller player. What else can I say?
Well, because I think it's a 0 out of 10, 0 out of 5, because it's like, they just baited the Flingza players. This is just nothing. Waste of text. Onto the Octobrush change. Less ink consumption when swinging the brush. How will this affect the salmon population? Probably not, because I don't think that affects salmon run, or unless it does. I don't know which multiplayer changes actually affect salmon run and which don't, but this one specifically could be pretty decent in the main game as well.
For Octobrush?
Yeah, giving them a little extra ink efficiency, you know, some extra beacons, some extra splat bombs, suction bombs, maybe especially with the extra auto bombs. That sub is already rather ink efficient. You can fight a lot alongside it.
I mean, we saw 11th and 8 Bridge in in low ink. They had a colorless comp involving an Octobrush, and they were able to get third with it. So, I'm just saying, it can be possible if you give it to the right person.
Mm-hmm. Uh, check out the bamboo stray speed. That looks pretty neat as well.
You get to be more of a nuisance if you're a bamboo player.
Yeah, you get that little. I mean, when I was a casual, I had like a pure run speed on my shoe ability. When I ran in Splatoon 2, running vanilla bamboo, no main power up. That's right, I didn't use main power up. I was weird like that. I'm weird now, and I was always weird. But that's just in the past for
Yeah.
now.
We're gonna get ready to go into our next set. We're gonna be seeing Blackman play against Let's Go Bloom. Do we know anything about these people? Like, I don't know if I've heard these people before.
But I
But
do
I'm
like the
excited.
theming here. Look at them both being teams with Pikmin on them. One of them seems to be a squid Pikmin, but the other one is just a straight up picture of a purple Pikmin, which is I think that's a better one too. I just like total Pikmin. Check this out.
We love Pikmin. I've never played the Pikmin series, but it does look really cute. It looks really fun until it's just not.
I've played Pikmin 4 before. I kind of just stopped at the beginning of the post game and also just didn't do like the Dendori challenges because they were like really hard for me. Some people were saying, "Oh, this is easy." I'm like, "Oh, you must be a Pikmin. You must be cracked at Pikmin."
We're gonna see first map's gonna start on Zone's Crab Leg. This is again, like, you can make the short range weapons work, but this is practically just another map where we can see things like a Hydra, a Heavy, a E-Leader, a lot of longer range weapons to give their team stability, allow them to make themselves known in the map, and not really give them too much room to work with.
Yeah, it's a very open sightline map, so we could see some interesting weapon picks. Here we go. We get some Tent Umbrella in the weapon, in the badges. Do we see it come out? We do. We see that good Tent Brush combination. Get some wide flanks and pincers. I'm a little experienced
Ooh.
at Tent Brush. We also can see
Double
V96 and some
Brush.
fighting weapons on the team of Bloom.
We're gonna see a lot of Brush, 96 Vax, a lot of ratting as well. Tent's gonna come up on the right side early
Tent
and,
forces mid, but
like,
no one quite
just doing
pushes.
Tent things.
Yeah, no one's quite forcing with it yet, trying to play off of Dread and Pencil to try and look for some poke. But here comes the Booyah Bomb that's going to let Bloom try and take a push. Can they make the swing happen into a Reef Slider? It doesn't
Ink
get
back
anyone.
out,
The Ink Vac
2
actually just
down.
completely stuffs it out. And now we're seeing an interesting, a lot of scrappy fights. They're going in the opposite directions of what I would expect. But we're just going to see it kind of reset to
They're
a
able to
sort of
clean
neutral
up.
spot.
They're gonna. Let's Go Bloom was able to clean up that fight, but Splotman practically just said, "Nah, we're better. We're just gonna kill you anyways," and just go get set up again. Ten's gonna find a nice one tap onto that. Ink back out from Let's Go Bloom. They're gonna try to be able to take a push with that. With Stamper. Stamper's gonna be able to probably find something. Do they? Not really. They're gonna try to jump out. They fall down to the bed.
The map is a little restricted for Let's Go Bloom. They're all kind of getting pushed into a corner while Splatman is starting to spread out, putting a player on top mid and looking for that top right side to start getting their push started. It's going to be a little hard to do that when there's just a Kraken behind you, unable to take the jump because it's just some grates that are in the way. And gonna go down to some whales and chip damage. Splatman is right back where, and they're right back where they started, and that's exactly where they want to be.
Zuka's ready from the town. Are we going to see him come out? No, not just yet. Stamper's going to be able to find that pick, move up from the right side, and they may have an opening. Never mind. That just got shut down in like 2 seconds.
I would have popped the hater Zuka. I would have popped what I like to call the hater Zuka on that sword if I was in that situation, man. But we
Oh,
look
the
to
bomb.
save it for better opportunities, maybe against the head it. Died to an auto bomb, which might enable Let's Go Bloom to quickly move in. Losing that sort of crossfire from the Slosher can just be the end of a hold.
And that's the end of the push for Splatman. Let's Go Bloom is going to be able to take control. They're really going to want to look to get that heavy edit set up on the top right. And that's going to be a very key position to help their team get a hold and continue to move forward, let their players get all set up and ready to go.
Yeah,
The
we're gonna
10's also going
see.
to Zuka in as well. Not going to find anything. Do we see the zone? We do. 10's going to shield up on this left side. Going to try to find something with it. Backs out as well. Gonna cap the zone. Inkback cheese. Gotta love it. And this 96 is trying to. I think they're trying to find a pick. Oh, that's a
Looking to
Nintendo moment.
try and take a very aggressive swing. Our weapons don't have much range, so we really got to take those opportunities to get that pencil. But the pencil is just going to keep on laying back and just repaint that zone. We're going to
Yeah.
keep on seeing some neutral play. Not quite in one team's favor. It just kind of feels like a little battle royale around mid. Kids like Fortnite, so we like this too. We're going to be seeing some fighting on zone, and unfortunately, purple team is not quite getting into the places they need to be the holes. So this
They're
might
seeing
not
that
be their lead push. Pencil could come back and paint this
it
zone
could be.
pretty easily if they don't deny it.
Sliders out as well. Do they find a punish? They do. Kraken's out as well. 3 down on the side of. I believe
And
that's Let's Go Bloom. And now this is the game-winning push for for the purple blue team, whatever color it is.
yes, it looks like against my expectations, an unfortunate retake from the yellow team kind of causes purple to get the lead, but they do get the switch that keeps them in the game. We can keep they have now another chance at life to try and
On
hold
the 10, they
until
do.
7.
One ink vac. The brush was able to get in, find a pick onto the ink vac, and now purple team's just set up again, like nothing ever happened. And a nice pick from the brush with the stamper. They're gonna be able to hold that even longer with the aura as well. And they're gonna jump out to reposition. I kinda like this. Is the Kraken able to find anything? Well, here comes the slaughter. They find two. What a slaughter. Now it's gonna go into overtime. And
No team
we just gotta get someone on the top right. Like, I'm
They've been
praying,
very
please get
good with
someone there.
knowing when to take these higher offense positions, exactly where to go. They have this map laid out. If they can keep calm and keep the zone, they can keep this push going. But they'll have to deal with some
Sure.
specials coming in. A Booyah and a Vac, canceling
The
the
back
Vac,
goes
but the
down.
Booyah comes out. Going on zone, not contesting it.
No one's
Because
pushing
there's no
up.
extra paint. We're
No one's
looking
pushing up
at
just yet. Are they able to neutralize? No, they cannot. Ink that
the
comes
lead
out,
swap.
and yellow team is able to take the first game.
Very intense overtime flip. That was nuts.
That was Let's Go Blue. That first game went to Let's Go Bloom. Alright, I'm not insane. Anyways, that was a very well fought game on both sides. They did have some issues with a bit of retake and trying to get back in, but regardless, a well fought game from both sides, and like not really much else I can say about that.
Yeah, the purple team got themselves in good positions at one point. Their main strength though was punishing yellow team's drops and over extensions. Certain moments when you can
True.
kind of find the enemies making a slip up. Punishing that is pivotal to the game. And that's how they got their big lead, but yellow just knew exactly how to set up. So when they got that opportunity right before overtime, they ran with it.
For sure. We're gonna be able to see. We're gonna head into Clamblitz on Museum next as well, and this is like I don't know what to expect. I mean, we could just see the same comps coming out from both sides, and it could just be a repeat.
This is true. It's museum clams, so there's going to be a lot more moving forward and enforcing the fact that you have to know exactly how to set up to get those clam scores. Is not purple team can't really pull off the whole mid and wait for the enemy to drop unless they get a lead beforehand. So we'll have to see some different strategies be employed.
Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick. Hold up.
And we are starting. Let's see if there's going to be any main things going to be happening. Unfortunate. We'll have to wait just an extra second for this
What did we
match
see?
to start. In that case,
I think it was practically the same comps anyway, because they had to keep the comps. So we
cancel the room. Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
is always on the team who has the DC to cancel the room, but I personally like doing the gentleman's thing, canceling the room. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to grab myself some water.
I guess I'll just yap about this for a bit. It's a solo commentary for a second. I'm just gonna yap about comps. Honestly, I saw like one comp change, and that was a V bucket for, I think it was Let's Go Bloom, I believe. Yeah, it was for Let's Go Bloom. I didn't see too many changes up for Splotman, but who knows? The DC could have brought something different. Who knows? We could have seen, or Lord knows at this point. Regardless, it's gonna be probably another relatively good game for the people here to watch. And yeah, chat, how are y'all doing? I don't know anymore.
Alright, and I have returned more hydrated than when I started.
Let's go. We love hydration. Make sure y'all stay hydrated, please.
That's true. Especially in the heat of the moment, you gotta keep your mind locked, you gotta keep yourself hydrated. It's a perfect time to do just between those sets. Keep your mind focused, do your arm stretches. Practice self-care, and your gameplay will improve as a result.
For sure. Random touch moment. Hold on. Blog has a damage increase. It's now 32. What do we think about that?
It's a little scary, I'm not gonna lie. the freaking 10 frames of doom and despair you're spending in an ink storm, and you get 3 tapped by a blob. If people learn how to make the most of this weapon, they could make it a really big problem. I know some people that are very happy about this change. Haven't heard anyone make their major complaints. But
wait, blob is 3 tap now?
Blob is 4 tap, but if you do take 4 damage, it becomes 3 tap. It's a lot easier to get a 3 tap on a weakened opponent using your ink storm. Also,
I was worried for a second.
Object this allows it. Yeah, no. If you're below 34 damage, we're fine. We are below 34 damage. We could get some extra DPS on things like the Rainmaker shield too. Maybe we'll see it tonight at the tournament as a recent buff.
I would love to see like the most random comp just come out, make it work, and it's gonna be the cast of 11. Very random tangent, but I want it to happen.
It may not happen this time. We have some more normal comp this match, but every once in a while you'll find those special individuals willing to make a big difference in the Splatoon community.
Yep, everyone back in the room. I think we're gonna get started again. Yes. So I believe they have to keep the same comp after the disconnect. So we should be seeing the same thing outside of a swap to the bucket for Let's Go Bloom, I believe. But who knows I wonder what the fourth was, the person at DC is playing. Could be different.
Could have been anything. It could have been the gold air spray. We're still waiting for it. It could happen. Or maybe it
Like,
won't.
I don't know, just shrugging my shoulders, being like, I mean,
They
it's
could.
possible.
They could.
Even like if we're gonna get serious about it, in museum there is a lot of paint where Aerospray can just set up his start painting up, but I honestly have no idea if we'll see it because they may just stick with their comp.
And we see seemingly very similar comps to last time, actually trading that pencil for a heavy edit splattling, and we're seeing some Booyah Bombs from a Forge Pro instead of the Crab Stamp. Not the Crab Stamp, the Booyah Stamper. Opening
And we're
Gambits
swapping
on that brush
to
too.
Zip.
Maybe we'll see an early fight.
I'm going to just assume that we are going to see a brush try to dive early on, and we have a V Stamper now, so we have Zip Casters. Yay!
Loving the pressure on from top mid that the Stamper's trying to put on the enemy heavy edit as they just slowly make that pressure into value, but a little overextension for the Forge Pro means that this might swing pretty quickly back in Let's Glow Bloom's favor.
Also, Bloom gonna be able to get the slider out. Fine 2 at the cost of 1. Gonna be a pretty good hold from Splatman. Not if this bucket's gonna find anything. No, they don't. Never mind. Commentator's curse
Edit.
is real.
Yeah, dude. Heavy Edit's gonna continue holding the line here. Zipcaster comes out. Can we open up any unique angles with this? The Heavy Edit's not quite moving with the Zipcaster push though. So
Gonna see
honestly,
the brush
they're not gonna get
chilling,
much more from this
finding a
push.
pick. Brush was able to find a pick and make it stalled at least for a second while Splatman's trying to gear up push. But honestly, with the strikes, now they're just gonna go back in. They're gonna try to retake and 2 go down from Splatman. This is their chance.
If Flatman can maintain, they got 2 balls.
Ooh, the
And
jump out.
heck, the jump out actually clutches to keep those
Oh,
power
no.
clams in play. The counter push
That big
could be
3
really
down.
big given that we have 2 clams. Looking to make a
3
jump
down. You
across the
can try
block
to
and maybe
go.
jump the clams. Unfortunately, it doesn't
Yeah,
come
like
out and they just revert to pushing the right side.
Splatman, like Splatman could just as easily when they went 3 down could have just sent someone up that block and they jump and then you immediately get 60 points in. But I'm not opposed to pushing the right side either. We do see a jump out coming out. The bomb's gonna find a pick for Melon while they go down, and it's just another you're playing for mid.
Yes. Seems like we have the ball and we're just kind of trying to hold our space. We're 2 minutes 40 seconds in the match
The
or left in the
brush.
match, and we really haven't scored any balls yet because of these brushes just able to shut down anyone who steps too far. Except if
This
we
is
can
their
get that
chance.
stagger, maybe the scores will just start coming easily. The
And there's the score. The brush is gonna be able to find the pick onto the edit, get the aura, but 2 fall down to the Bia bomb. It may be a ended push already. Yeah, definitely for sure. Now that the Stamper got the pick. And
I
now
love
they
to
just
see
play
that
for mid
power
again.
clam layup. I love to see that power clam layup. Get some basketball on the with this football-like mode. But now we're gonna mobilize with once again 2 power clams, I believe, and we're just gonna try and get some splats to help us get in.
And there we go. We just tried the Forge just tried to go get a score, not able to make it work, and so everyone else is like, "All right, we'll play a bit back. We're still gonna keep some pressure. Let's go." Sliders
Yes,
at
it
the ready.
seems.
May try to go in with it. Perhaps they do have special power up, I think, so it'll be a big explosion radius. But Splatman's still holding pretty well.
Slider comes out and makes a good amount of space for Let's Go Bloom. Maybe they get their second swing here. The Sloshers in a great position. If they could hold this, they could actually let their team get in pretty well, but they sacrifice it. Hearing the Booyah Bomb going off is a big part of that.
It, even if they wanted to push, they didn't have the clam economy for it. So you couldn't really do a lot outside of that, outside of having and holding the space you have. But Slider's gonna come on out. We're gonna see Earth on this left side fall down to like 3 people there, and now 3 down from the side of Splatman. Let's Go Bloom does have an opportunity
If they want to make another clam, only want. They don't
oh,
have
the
to,
Slider.
but the Slider gets a double kill on Let's Go Bloom, and if I were them, I probably wouldn't risk it too hard. And they don't.
Yeah.
They go back, just try and get clams to the other team. Flatman his start.
Zip out as well from the side of Splotman. And honestly, let's go Bloom. Do they even have to push it? No. Do they want to push it? Probably. The bomb's going to find a pick for Splatman as the Kraken is up, ready to go, looking to throw a bomb. Just hold the space they have and just try to find something. I mean, they don't even have the clamps to make a football yet. They do have pity. But
They got 5 clans on that brush. If they just get one more pod, we can see another football come into play. The pity is
Melon
grabbed,
goes
and we're
down.
starting to try and move in players. It's not going too well.
Melon went down on the left side with the football, and honestly, I think this may just be it for Splatman, and Let's Go Bloom's going to take another sliders out by the football as well. Not going to be able to find too much else. It's just cleanup at this point. Let's Go Bloom has made their presence known, and that's the game.
Unfortunate, but I think they did have. I think Splatman had the right idea, trying to make the push when they did, just at that 30-second mark to make sure the Power Clan was moving. They had the right timing, but maybe the execution was a little off.
Probably. Brush, I think it was the ink brush that did it, that got the win this time around, but who knows? Between the battle of the brushes, we could see Octobrush a game. Who knows?
We're going to be seeing just one more set between these teams just to help us figure out who's going to which bracket particularly.
I see a Rainmaker Humpback.
I see a
Oh, I'm so
potentially
excited.
crazy match.
I'm so excited. We are going to be seeing Rainmaker Humpback in game 3. And the reason why I'm excited is because I'll play with a friend, and said friend will pull out a V sploosh and we run a sploosh. I remember this. We had sploosh, heavy, decav, and some sort of other. All right. Oh wait, it was a blaster. We had decav, heavy, sploosh, blaster, and we just wreaked havoc on that map mode. It was so much fun.
It could be a very volatile map mode. The games can just end instantly. We gotta make sure the watchers have to lock in just to see what's going on.
Decaf, if they decide to swap something up, I mean, you got the decaf. The decaf is right there. Innocent and pretty. I know I'm saying this as a decaf player. I promise you, it is worth it for this mode.
The ramps could get in the way of those projectiles, but you could have some good places to dash through, especially with these ramps to keep yourself in cover. We'll see what they try. Going for a dynamo roller on one side, knowing that top mid is a great position for that weapon. Opening gambit on it as well.
We're just completely ditching the Octobrush. We're saying, oh no, we're going to pull out the Stars Dynamo roller with the Killer Whale. Just still going to bring the Killer Whale to the fight, but also just try to make things a bit easier for Splatman as a distraction point of entry.
Stamper looking to take some fights to help push the front line forward, but not quite being active in those angles until the enemies get just a tad bit closer.
Ooh, here we go.
Looks like Let's Go Bloom. You'd get some early picks. Maybe a slider takes a kill. Doesn't quite get around the corner, but the Rainmaker just gets a really quick checkpoint, and this is terrifying. This could be the game-winning push right here.
Yeah, the strike's coming out to Earthgate behind them, but that's immediately a push to 38. 36.
36.
Anyway.
It's not quite unwinnable for Splatman yet. A push at 20, I'd be a little more scared, but this can be a flip that they have, and they're taking a lot of space to reset this Rainmaker, and honestly, reset it so cleanly.
I mean, the Dread went down a bit early, just waiting for the Zipcaster, honestly, to find some value. And, you're just waiting at this point. You're just waiting for, some sort of value. Sensors are just being thrown out from the Dynamo, trying to find something, at least to keep up the location. But here we go. 3 down from the side of Spot, 2 from Let's Go Bloom. It's still in Let's Go Bloom's favor. All of that sensors, like, I love this Dynamo kit, but all the sensors being thrown out for, right?
Yeah,
The
unfortunately,
location only helps you so much.
they didn't make any instantiations themselves, trying to
Breakaway?
wait for purple to walk into them. The breakaway almost comes out, but the strikes just stops it from happening. But they still have the Rainmaker. Force
Last
out a
bomb.
splat bomb and a slider, just to, just so that Bloom can keep control of mid.
And that's going to be another hold from a successful hold from Let's Go Bloom. And not really too much value outside of almost getting check. The Dread's gonna fall down early. Zipcaster out from the Stamper and the Bia Bomb. Gonna try to find something behind that. They're not gonna be able to find anything though. It's another 3-down situation.
Unfortunately, they're just going to get reset to neutral because that's what Bloom is going to be trying to hold. The Rainmaker does get a
The
kill
Rainmaker
on
pack
that Dynamo roll, but the burst combo misses the Rainmaker, and this we're just going to try and run it
2
forward
down.
again, getting more than 36 points to
This
secure an
could be
even
the
better
push.
lead. So
There we
crazy
go,
displacement
down to
and paint from the
17.
tri-strikes. 17, I don't know if this is going to be easy to
Oh,
get back.
wait.
10 even. Can they get
Well
the
out.
Rainmaker again? That might be a no.
Probably not this time around. Dynamo is able to
Unless
find
they're
the hit
hiding behind that
with
Rainmaker
Whale.
pedestal. There is
They
someone
probably
back
are.
there getting super jumps. Almost keeping the push alive, but Splatman just cleans out their base nicely. Try and make these last 1 minute and 45 seconds as good as possible.
Yeah, they're gonna opt for the Rainmaker reset here. All of that push from the Zitcaster didn't really come up too much, but in Let's Go Bloom is just in the same situation. 3 down, 1 extended too far, the other 2 fell. We're good to go. Like, what else do you really do at this point? Except stall or just try to take some space.
This bucket could be going for the aura-filled play, looking for a pick around the corner, but not
Hold the
quite
flank.
overextending. Catching the flank, because this is a very dangerous place to hold the Rainmaker, since it's just so easy to keep you trapped in that corner. A lot of pushes get ended right on this elbow, and that's exactly what happened. Bodman has 1 minute to set up their overtime push. They probably want to get the Rainmaker within these next 30, the checkpoint within these next 30 seconds, just so they don't have to repop during overtime.
Exactly. I think it's definitely we're trying to get that edit all alone. There we go. Are we gonna be able to find the Dread? They're probably not. They're just waiting for the slider, and out comes the slider. They're gonna find one. They're probably gonna find another soon. Never mind. 2 down from Splatman and the Dynamo. Up. Now, are we just gonna go for round 2 of getting check? Are we gonna try a different angle?
It looks like the pro is trying to just make sure things are clear, but I think Let's Go Bloom is just going to have the special economy to completely overwhelm. Just kind of throwing the overbomb, the Booyah Bomb on elbow. Kind of, no one looked particularly
Maybe.
ready to move off it, but we just got to make something happen, and we
Here
are!
we go.
Can the flank
Stamper's
stop
holding
the
the front line.
checkpoint, or will they get it just before overtime? They do.
You're gonna be able to get
They
it.
have to pop it and immediately grab it. This is the risk
This
we
is
have for
entirely
waiting this
possible.
long. Now we have to
I
make sure we
don't
don't
know
go
if I like
too
the
far. We need to
edit
get all the
grabbing.
way to 10. And
It is
it looks
possible. Here we go. We're just going for it. But
oh,
Let's Go Bloom gonna be able to find the stop and force the 3-0 in there.
we run out of gas at the last second. That's rather unfortunate. But it was a valiant attempt at knowing, just trying to get that quick Rainmaker checkpoint into overtime. But unfortunately, they weren't instantiating themselves on the map properly. They couldn't find that swing. So it's kind of how Rainmaker crumbles.
We're gonna head on over into a calm break for a second. Feel free to go get some water, get some food to eat, anything to keep yourself hydrated and ready to go for the next sets we got coming up. They're gonna be amazing sets, and I personally don't want you to watch it on a empty stomach. So we will see you in a second for
I'm excited,
round 3.
personally, to see what's coming next. Round 3, playing all 3 for Jazzrock versus Dubious Yakitori Steak. I don't recognize quite any of these, but we'll see kind of title.
I know two people from Gradlock, and one of them was my old-time teammate from my very first team. And I'm so excited to see them play.
Love to see some old teammates be able to see what happens in these upcoming sets. For sure. Where's the gold aerospray? Where is it?
I'd love
Where
to
is
see
he?
Gold Aerospray.
Where is gold aerospray? Where's Omnivan? That's what I'm saying. I feel like it's gonna be on Dubious. It's gonna be Dubious running gold aerospray. This has to be it, right, guys? There has to be gold aerospray during
It's
this.
called Dubious Yakitori Steakhouse. Why would you not run Gold Aerospray?
Such a gold aerospray team. They do have a power control match in this set, so that would be the perfect place to do it. Title seller, just saying. We're gonna start with Mako Zone, obviously.
Mako Zones. This is short range heaven, or if you are a good backline player, this can be your home. If you got a sniper rider that has really good max, really good skills, this is a very good map to put them on. And I would love to see what's happening.
Trying to deny those snipers. We might see a lot of weapons trying to get under ledges or pressuring stacks. Here we go, jumping right into the set. Not seeing a sniper rider on Drazlock nor Steakhouse, but they're
There's that.
running the heavy and the screen tri-slosher. Going for this really high paint, very sneaky comp versus a lot of a triple swim speed 10 to tech splatter shots.
Yeah, I mean, screen's allowed for the set, so honestly, if you can use it, go use it. Team 2 down from the side of Drazlock already, and 3 down actually from Drazlock, and Dubious Steakhouse is probably going to be able to take some. There we go. And we're going to see the Carbon nice shark on the T-Tech.
We're
Find a
seeing
nice shark on the T-Tech. Cooking on the left side too. There we go. Another 2 down situation. And at this point, we're ready to just go into lockout.
Very clean movement from the Carbon plus a crab tank really keeps Drazlock out of the game. This is 60 points and we're down 2 again. This might take us to somewhere around 40 before Drazlock has the chance to get their footing. But even then, I guess gotta try Ashen in your spawn, killing under your ledge. Oh boy, this is gonna be a little hard for Drazlock to fight out of. Even the range boss are having to turn around. I use a shot on this tri-slosher. Do they have the paint to retake mid? They all go down!
That's a wipeout for this side of Dubious Steakhouse. And honestly, we're already in last 10 territory. Like, you just have to rush it. You just gotta go for it. And honestly, with that type of lockout, I don't know how to do it. Like, you're just diving in, you're going, like, it's just, you're following all the pieces to the push. You let the Carbon go in early, you're gonna be able to find the value, and then your team is just set up. If I were in
unfortunate match, but hopefully Drazlock gets the download. This is the part where you adapt and bring it back. You got the download knowing exactly what Drazlock is doing. You can make an adjustment for Hagglefish markets. Maybe predicting the gold aerospray finally. But
for sure,
it's important to keep the team mental together so that it doesn't snowball into something potentially dangerous. We'll see what happens.
If we're thinking in terms of teams, if I'm on the side of Drazlock, we're gonna want to we really want to watch out for that card. A lot of Dubious Steakhouse opening was purely because of the Carbon, and you can just assume that's the opening they will have. is going to be relatively straightforward. We're going to go poke the right stack either directly or from the far side, and you just need to keep an eye on it. And we can do something similar here in Hacklefish, tower control. It's just not going to be that quick because it's a more linear stage. Okay.
Some pretty good play. This could be a snowballing map though. If there's two chances for retake potential in order to swing the game back if something goes wrong in terms of Razlock. Those checkpoints can be hard to break past. But if the steakhouse starts cooking their buttery steak, my goodness, it could be a fine meal. It could spell doom for Razlock.
I agree. Honestly, both the combs can work. I would love to see some sort of aggressive bubble weapon. Mainly the decals.
A decal,
I know.
they had a dapple dueler, so maybe we could see something like a junior roller blaster or something very close range like that. I'm not sure if we're gonna see the decal flex, but hey, anything's possible.
That is true. I just, honestly, if we're thinking about doing top adaptation, if I'm on Draslock, if we have some sort of splatling, or if we have some sort of backline, I mean, it's worth giving a shot. Especially for Hacklefish, you know that they don't either. It was practically a backless v backless for most of that time. You could run it and just make it work. You know, you have that stability, and you're able to make sure that, alright, even if we go down, it's still going to be a bit, especially in the for, you know, everyone from the other team starts to push up, take that space, and you have the backline to be able to sustain a little bit. You can clutch up and keep the hole for a bit, but we're going to start heading into this game of Hacklefish.
We'll see the potential comp adaptations, see some tower control demon weapons. Maybe the Clash Neo just blows up the entire map. Unfortunately not, we see a switch to the end parry splat dualies. Double shooter on the side of Steakhouse. We'll see how this much shorter range, a lot of just short range weapons. This heavy could just be eating the entirety of Draslock alive.
For sure, we're going to see a pretty aggressive opening from T-Tech already, too, poking that right side from the side of Duke House. T-Tech goes down early, and it's practically the same thing as last time. 2-3 go
Oh
down
my
from the side of
goodness.
Draslock to this roller. That's a quad,
Dangerous
and the
just
roller is going to
quad.
be able to just go set up. They have the big bubble to hold the space. Here it goes. The T-Tech goes down yet again.
Holding this ledge could definitely give them and let them just continue running down the enemy spawn just all on their own. But the tower could get staggered. But it was just a trade. There's still more
That's another
people to throw at the
peg.
tower. This second
There,
checkpoint going down could
what
be
the
really
heck?
dangerous, but they just barely defend the second checkpoint. That is their one thing that they need to keep in line. We'll have
There
to
we
see how
go. So
Draslock can potentially use this splashdown to help themselves get right back into the action.
honestly, like after that wonderful push to 35 from the roller, a lot of it really is just coming down to, are we able to look after the roller? And there we go.
Goodness.
It's another upper takeout, and the roller is just going in, causing a scene, and no one is looking for.
The T-Tech is trying to clear out players, but the enemies get set up on that tent. It's a little dangerous once again, getting staggered
That
one
was a
player on
spot.
this defense. Will they be able to stop the KO? The Tri-Strikes come out, so the
Maybe.
tower has to stop by this point, but they just get triple killed again in the middle of the Tri-Strikes. This is not really going to stop the tower. The
Bubble on
bubble
the
just
check.
kind of KOs here, does it not?
It should. Heavy gets the aura for the pick after the top right position, and boom, that's game 2.
Very quick and brutal matches. Unfortunate for the side of Draslock.
Dude, I That roller was on some. That roller was on some, and I have a
Dude.
lot of questions.
The roller players are just eating up just front liners, mid liners, anyone this patch. There's so much paint provided by that heavy, provided by those two other shooter weapons. We were able to see them kind of just walk in when the enemies are distracted because they have to put so much attention and pressure onto that heavy, especially with a comp like theirs. They don't have much to deal with the heavy, so it's really hard to deal with that and the roller at the same time. It's a real uphill battle, and I wouldn't blame these matches for being a little sided to the guys that have the funny heavy splattling that only got plus 10p in the recent patch and no other nerf.
I mean, I don't honestly just ignore at this point. Ignore the heavy. Ignore mostly everything else. Just focus the roller. You know that they're like I've said it before. Anyways, you're gonna have to go and find the roller to begin with, anyways. At this point, you're down 0-2. You want to try to just get the game. It's worth it to just focus on the roller, make sure he's dead, and then take it one step at a time. That, or you play something like a sensor or a backline that can help like find the roller out and find a pick to give your team an easier time and not having to go like paranoia mode.
Yeah, that roller was just like the one thing that could really snowball on their comp, and they played into it rather well.
Absolutely devastating. I'll do this with my team too, where if there's some high painting weapon for my decap player, I'll just play it. Like, we did a playoffs thing for a different league, and I played heavy. I got a full game. It was 2k paint, 13-1. It was crazy. You can't do anything against a heavy that just provides a lot of paint and a team that cleans up unless you're just...
Let's see exactly what adjustments Drazlog makes to try and pull back this next set. I think they could do something. It's a little trickier to KO on a map like Scorched Clams, so we could see some really good adaptations to try and get things out. Running double shooter and dabble dualies is a little risky of a comp, so that might be their first thing to think about if they do try and change anything.
Either that, or just say screw the roller. We're just gonna go dive him. We're just gonna say screw the roller.
Flatter shot Nova. I think it's got whale, good paint, and point sensor. Find that roller. Whale, that's roller. Or do something.
Honestly, like either that or you just play for the roller. Like, something has got to happen. They can keep the comp, but they have to do some sort of playstyle change. We're gonna be heading into Planet Blitz, Scorch Gorge, and let's just see if they make any changes. I see a Wiper.
The Dreadringer does come out on the side of Drazlog. Dreadringer Wiper trying to do things to make that roller's life a little bit harder. Meanwhile,
I do see the Wiper.
Steakhouse does stay kind of approximately with the same comp, but running a 52, I believe, instead of his Zap.
Oh yeah, they're running colorless now, so that's going to be a bit easier for Drazlog to find some sort of less value. And there's the gal down by like 3 people dropping onto them, and they're just trying to find the roller. The roller's down. They now...
Yeah, but that's not just the roller anymore. Now it's a 52 gal as well. It's going to be a little more down to trying to juggle between 2 dangerous Slayer weapons. And it looks like that Steakhouse is doing a good job in managing their uptimes. A defensive bubble comes out, and it just seems like they can't... There's just going to be back into neutral. But the roller just kind of sitting in that corner, waiting to get a free pick and going right back there. Can't quite pick the Wiper, but we're just going to have to figure out how we can use top mid and around mid to kind of make sure we can continue getting snowballs.
For sure, they really need to get that heavy setup on the tower and top mid, and practically you get a lot more. But we're going to see Drazlog try to find some space here. And there we go, there's the 90 on... There's 2 on the left play, hold on. What is that?
the slider unfortunately doesn't go down the ramp very well, and I mean, Steakhouse is just going to continue maintaining how they are set up.
Oh, hold
But
on.
unfortunately, we're going to have to give up some positions because we start going down players.
Heavy's going to be able to
Like we're
hold
able to
this
come back in.
position, try to clean up.
Ooh.
But, oh, there's a torpedo kill.
Yeah,
And then they fall
how
shortly after.
it's very hard. They can't seem to quite find that next thing to do after getting the right picks in the right place. But a double kill from a splat bomb definitely helps out to get them back, their heads back in the game. If they can sustain and get more
Okay.
splat bomb kills, call this Bomberman. We are on the case to try and get our next push. Maybe we can get some more splat bombs and get some engages to help get us back in.
For sure, there's that roller again. Are we going to be able to find
My
him?
God.
We do at the cost of a trade. And the junior was the one holding most of the...
It's like playing a horror game. Losing most of your clams to that roller is very inconvenient. The slider comes out, hits a splash wall, and unfortunately, it just seems like Steakhouse is finally going to get that push that they do very need. The roller
Here we
coming
go.
in, ready to be a one-man army once again.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of picks coming out from both sides, but a lot of it won't have too much value if you just don't have clams. We're already like about 3 minutes into the game, and there haven't been any scores yet because we don't have the clam economy.
This could be Drazok's one chance to win, because if they get that one lucky push and then just hold, they could make it work. But no! It looks like the opposite of that's going to happen. The power clam miss, but we can jump up in the ledge and grab it. Do we know it's salvageable? We don't, but we do. Someone did grab it and get the second clam in. We are seeing Steakhouse just run up into the enemy spawn and just absolutely create what could be a KO push. We have 7 clams on the 52 gal. If they score them all, it could spell doom for our players on Trazlock.
Look at this shot. This shot's just living in their base. They've been running around for God.
But
and that's another
we have
wipeout.
forgotten to pay our bills. A lead of 12 is very difficult to contest, but
especially
the game's not over yet.
For sure. Drazlock was able to finally get that shot out of their base. The 52 is going to hold the pressure instead. Not really too much space lost, all things considered. And we're already 45 seconds left here, Micro. And we're scoring.
Ooh, the double kill from the slider. That can potentially keep them in the game. That's an entire wipeout. We need to make sure we're getting enough clams before we score this ball to make sure we can actually get that push. But we're actually going for a smaller initial push. I don't know if we have time for 2 pushes, though. The roller gets a crush and a swing.
And that's just a delayed wipe for Dubious Steakhouse. And they do have the pity clam. They can try one more push. But Steakhouse is just pushing up so far into Drazlock's spawn. At least
if
into
they
their
get this power clam in, they can instantly end overtime, and it looks like that exactly is what's going to happen.
And that is game 3 to Dubious Steakhouse. The roller, dude. They looked out for the roller a bit more. A lot of the pushes didn't have too much claim economy, so they were fine for the most part up until that monumental push to 12. The roller and the 52 were just... the roller and the shot, were actually just living in their base for the longest time. And Drazlock just had a hard time doing anything about
it. Yeah, rather unfortunate for Drazlock, but very well played by Steakhouse to make an advantage of those situations, just kind of running it down.
Another part of it, though, the pacing. Dubious Steakhouse had a much easier time just playing fast with their comp. Not only were they playing it backwards, but they were able to play very fast off of it, and that helped them hold the amount of space that they did.
Yeah, it was very neutral for the early match, though. It looked like anyone's game, but we are done with this set.
Alright, we're gonna head into another quick break before groups of round 4, and then it's going to be the bracket stage. So we will see you guys then. All right, we should be back.
Yeah, getting ready for the final round of groups stage.
Welcome back, everyone, to Shark Tank Shallow Waters. And for Swiss Round 4, we're going to be seeing Galactic Gradient Gummies play against 50 bucks and a lighter.
50 bucks and a lighter. What could you do with those things?
What could you do with 50 bucks and a lighter? You could do a lot of things. I'm just going to say that right now. If I say anything more, I'm probably...
Yeah, well, Galactic Gradient Gummies, we got the nice alliteration team name. It'll roll right off the tongue as well. Not that really do. I don't have much
Bluey's in
intel
here.
on these players, but maybe the Try player is a Try Slosher player. The player named Try.
I know.
Maybe they
I've
just
heard
like
of
Monster
Bluey.
Hunter.
I
They like
think
Monster Hunter Try.
Bluey. Yeah. We got some
Getting-
info.
I'm
Starfish
getting
is
some
a
intel.
Dapple player. That's fun. I
Some
love seeing you
insider
dabble.
information, if you will.
Jeez. I've heard of Bluey a little bit. I think Bluey was a teammate of Cade from the previous set, but I don't know what happened. I think they may have just found it with. But still, it's gonna be fun to see them play and to see more people. I mean, what else do you do? They're fun.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing some Dev 4 gold arrow sprays. Just kidding. That's a little too optimistic now, isn't it?
We're already
I don't think
3
we're gonna see the
cents
gold arrow
in.
spray this set, but maybe it'll happen sometime during brackets. Maybe.
The
It's gotta
copium
happen.
has been
It's gotta be a
playing.
gold arrow spray sometime. I'm saying it. It's such a good sleeper weapon. The hitbox change really benefited that weapon. You can find some kills with it, even without your fizzy bombs. Going
I feel
on
like it's cope, but whatever.
going on to think about the maps that we're looking at, I see the potential for Barnacle and Dime zones, a very distilled, very basic map. Pretty easy to understand for both teams. You could see some pretty good play out of just knowing what to do. The players might have some good game strategy going into this.
Honestly, the Barnacle, it is just one of those. It can be a hit and miss. Like, you can do really well on it, and any type of comp can work with it. It's one of those stages that you can make some sort of like dive or a poke or like a hide and seek type of thing. It can all work in Barnacle.
It is true. See a lot of things potentially happen in these sets. We'll see some ink blot and undertow down the line as well. We'll just have to wait and see if we get the pencil mirror in this match or not. I doubt it. We haven't been seeing that many pencils this tournament run anyways.
I feel like Pen overall has also just not seen that much use even after this patch. Like the 220 special for Cooler and all of the paint nerfs it's gotten. I mean, you can pretty much see it in like higher top level. But we're going to be going on ahead, heading on Barnacle. And I'm excited to see the comps that are going to come out.
Double splattling. We do not want to get pushed at all. We're seeing a lot of splattlings in this match. Plenty of BPM, bullets per second or minute.
We're going to see the double splatling from Galactic Gradient Gummies, the Nautilus, and the Heavy Edit paired with the Carbon Roller. We're going to see the Carbon already going in, finding the 50. And probably finding another? Maybe? Never mind.
Fortunately not. An unsuspecting pick that could have been very good for Gummies, but they simply opt to be able to just sustain off of the temporary panic, getting the dread set up and putting splattlings in places to prevent those other places from getting overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's like, especially to start, you're just looking to take a lot of key spots. Heavy's gonna find some to help their teammate. 2 go down, 3 go down. I think 3 down from the side of 50 bucks. The slider out's the zone. And you know, in first minute in, Galactic Gradient's just holding.
Something to note is that I believe that is a crab edit splattling, so neither team actually has tactical, or these kills are always going to be important
True.
if they can even get them. The 10 umbrella just hiding in the shield the entire time. I approve of that shield surf and to jump out, just getting so much value for 50 bucks
Yeah.
that they can just kind of walk back in while the team is just out of resources after dumping it into the tent.
That was a nice pick for the Heavy, allowing the team to not really care about the left side, just go try to but 3 down from the side of 50 lighter. Carbon's just absolutely rushing it. I think that was, and now they're just gonna live in their have the Zuka at the ready for a stacker with the slider paired up as well. Down
The special
again,
advantage that
and we're just
Gummies
holding.
has is allowing them to hold. The Zuka could come out and pick this heavy if they're not careful. Oh my god. Well, are we playing Five
What is
Nights at
it there?
Freddy's or are we playing Splatoon? Because that was a jump scare. My goodness.
That
But it looks like
that
they'll
would
have a
be the
pretty
Zuka.
smooth transition, getting their stack back and being able to flip the zone with their high painting heavy splattling.
Yeah,
It's not quite over
Nautilus is
50
here.
buck come 50 bucks just yet.
Yeah, we're gonna see the Nautilus jump out, try to reset with the team. The Tenebrella go down early, and now we're gonna see 50 bucks in a letter. Try to start getting a hold in, but not if we're just gonna see Galactic Gradients just try to push it. Like Inkstorm out, causing displacement. We see the flip, 2 down from the side of 50 bucks in a letter, and 3 down actually. And again, we're just in another hole.
This super jump definitely goes down to the carbon. Wait!
Surely.
It's a double dualies! Oh, commentator has cursed it again.
Commentator
Oh my,
curse.
oh brother. The slider could come in and get multiple kills. Why did I say that? It's not gonna do that now. Or maybe it
Dude, 3
does.
specials out too. 50 bucks in a letter has to flip this. They get the flip. 2 down from the side of Galactic. And we're just getting ready for another hole.
50 bucks has to really figure out how they're holding this map. They do have that heavy splattling on the stack, but the crab is likely just gonna push them out again. This crab has been such a problem for 50 bucks, but they survive it. And this could be very well easily be a lead swap if they don't let that dread get back in and get picks.
I think we are
And
going
there
to
it
see
is.
the flip. Yes, we do. Zone is flipped. And the heavy's down. Oh, right.
Just
Line 1. Carbon is pushing for their life. And 50 bucks in the ladder is just trying to get the zone paint. The Carbon on the behind. They're going to find the dabble. Found one.
Gummies has
Find a
no
third.
penalty. This is a lead swap right here again.
Here we go.
Back to their power positions. This is probably a KO. No sliders, no tents.
Nautilus
There's no
with
one
the
in
aura as well.
play.
They can just hold the space. We're in last 10. And that's just it. That's game 1. I don't have much else to say. I mean, 50
Very
bucks in a
good
ladder
match.
was really just trying to either they were trying to do something. It's just not, it probably just may not have looked that coordinated as it was trying to be. And Galactic Gummies was just able to capitalize. The Carbon was able to get in, find the value, and get them set back up again.
50 bucks was just barely short of their strongest hold. They didn't exactly have the positions they needed on lock early enough, soon enough that they couldn't quite sustain it for long enough. But with this first match down, this is where we get our hands become a little more warm and we become a little more used to what might happen on Inkblot Tower. So this map is going to be a bit more snowbally than Barnacle Zones, especially because neither team is really going to have the ability just to re-slider towards the objective and kill everything around it. It's going to be a little harder to work around the moving tower that gives special advantage to those who ride it.
That's true. They can honestly, they can make changes if they want for $50 in a letter, but their comp did work out pretty well to where, you know what? We just gotta watch out for the carbon. We've seen it work. We need to do better on holds, and as long as we watch out for carbon, we should be okay.
With
Right?
that heavy
Surely.
splattling, being able to mark the carbon with the wave breaker and just paint the entire map, enabling the heavy is going to be key to their comp. We'll have to see how exactly they do that coming up in Inkblot Tower Control.
Honestly, if I'm on the side of $50 in a letter, like I said it before, you gotta deal with the carbon, but also take a look at the Nautilus. The Nautilus has had some moments here and there, especially with the ink form. You're able to, like, kind of cause some displacement and allow the carbon to get. And then, if you want to, you can go with it. Like, focus on the Nautilus, but we're gonna be heading on in to Game 2, Inkblot Tower Control. And
I mean,
honestly,
I'm
are there gonna
naturally
be
going to
any
root for the
changes?
side that has a 10 umbrella. I'm not going to lie. And this side, they don't have a 10 umbrella. It is a splat umbrella to flush the enemies off the tower. Not even running stealth
There
jump,
you
going for
go.
even more tri-strike action. We'll have to see exactly what they do in this rollout, going to spread out in mid.
Yeah, $50 in a letter, gonna try to go for more of a paint heavy comp to allow the carbon to get in, but the carbons just trade each other out, and we're just in a stalemate.
This Brella's getting forced back really hard by this Dreadringer, who gets a great slider drop pick. That's 3
That's
down
3.
into a wipe. This is a pretty easy first checkpoint for Gummies. Getting the carbon under this ledge
Yeah.
could be really scary. Into a trade on the Dabble Dualies, but that trade is worth it because it's harder for the carbon to get up there than it is for the dual Dabbles to get back to that position.
I'm gonna see. Yeah, we're seeing the carbon from $50 in a letter. Find 2. The tower's still by the second check. Crab is out as well, I believe, and that's a check. Like, even though $50 in a letter, who actually, like, even though if they got the people cleared off tower, still they cleared check. Like, Galactic Gummies doesn't have to worry about check moving forward. The Dread's gonna find a pick near the tower, 3 down from the side of the ladder, and it's just the carbon.
There's a rat in the kitchen, and it's gonna make the cooking a little harder, but they were able to exterminate it just in time. Maybe Carbon here can get a good Zuga angle to clear out the enemy heavy. That's the biggest threat. However, we get distracted by the Brella. Able to sustain in this corner until the crab shot takes it out. Let's see if we can get that Zuga angle.
Now we're seeing a tower pushed up as well. Dapple's dropping, able to find a pick. Now they're gonna start looking at the tower, I believe. Yes, we do. We find Bluey out as well from Galactic Gummies, just trying to find a pick to hold some space. And
They don't need
honestly,
much more
another
than 20.
pretty successful defense from $50 in a lighter. They have they can just click the right stick and start forcing their way in. Here we go.
They
The
do
Dapple's
need
taking
to
this first
save
side.
some gas in the tank to get past that first checkpoint because they just don't even have any of the checkpoints. It's going to be hard to try and make a slow but snowbally push to get to the other side of the map, but this is effectively the battlefield of competitive Splatoon. It's a very standard map. A lot of people know what to do. $50
Here we
just
go.
running forward as well. This first check, surprisingly free for them.
Yeah, the Doppels from $50 in the ladder practically just said, I'ma hold W key and move forward to get the check, but the Carbon's gonna be able to find 3 of them and cause an immediate stop to the push from second check for Galactic Gummies. And that's another successful hold. 3 down again because due to the jump in.
There's 3 people capping your jump, man. 2 Dabble Dooley dodge rolls is not going to be enough this time. I'm sorry to inform.
Yeah, I mean, you only go so far, right? Carbon has Suzuka at the ready, and we're pretty even on both sides, I believe. And Storm's out as well, gonna cause some display in a pretty dang good spot, actually. And Galactic Gummies is just holding forward.
Not too hard pressed to really move this tower. They already have the lead to 20, but they just keep on getting frags and picks, looking to see if they can catch the one-way drops. Not quite forward enough to get it. Getting comboed by burst bombs, and this might be the thing that
Slaughter.
lets no. Unfortunately,
Roll the
50 bucks
slaughter.
gets exploded by a crazy reslider angle, and we could see a KO as a result.
I can't see the KO. That slaughter was absolutely detrimental. 3 down from the side of 50 bucks and lighter, and it's just a dread. They're moving the tower over. And last game 2.
Game 2. Wow.
They were able to pick off the person on tower, but you couldn't really do much outside of that. I mean, it's still registered as the KO. What a game 2. I mean, well done to 50 bucks and a ladder. Just first easy check. Grand scale of things. You just, like, Galactic Gummies, just using the Storm and the Carbon, a wonderful combination to just hold W key, move forward, boom, you're good.
Yeah. Well, this very aggressive mentality is gonna definitely help fruit gummies, gradient gummies in the next set. Sorry, I'm just thinking about a different team. I believe they're named Fruit Gummies, like fruit gummies, but spelled a little interestingly. I don't know why it just popped in my
Never
head.
heard
I
of
just
them.
remember hearing their name in other tournaments, but these are specifically the Galactic Gradient gummies.
Yeah.
Who
We're
knows
gonna be
what's
looking
packed
at
in those
Rainmaker.
things?
We're gonna look at Rainmaker Undertow up next. All the teams are ready to go, and honestly, I want to see a Wellstring.
I want to see some vanilla tent action. Let's get in to the same comp on gummies, but continuing.
I called it. There's
There's
the
your Wellstring
Wellstring.
right there. Commentators blessing, they're calling it. And the inkjet version of Brella. We'll see
It's still
likely a
it's
quick
still
pop
the
from the
strength,
purple team.
actually.
The rest of purple team not helping the Wellstring with the pop. It's going to give it to yellow team, while purple team focuses on trying to fight the right side, but unfortunately
And
losing that
Carbon's
opening
coming up
fight.
on the spine. Gonna find the Wellstring, falls down, and 2 down from the side of 50 bucks in the ladder. This waiting. They're able to stop the Rainmaker in time before a push, but the Carbon just gets punished. And they're able to just keep it moving again.
Getting it past this corner and onto the check is very pivotal, so they need to do it quick, because that's the easiest place to shut down the Rainmaker, and they do shut it down there right before the checkpoint. Looks like it'll be a
This
quick
is just
regrab and checkpoint,
deathmatch.
but they're just leaking players, leaking resources. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a quick insta-pop
What
by
a
that
pop.
Wellstring. Really helps them get control of the map once again.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this Carbon is still able to find picks, find value, and get get Galactic Gummies back up to hold this space. But like, what do you do when the team is just full pressure like that, and just keep moving forward?
It's
Like, this
just
Carbon is already
the
in
Carbon
spawn.
just in their spawn, not quite making much of a difference as the fish isn't quite moving yet. The enemy Carbon or Wellstring should be able just to stop this thing from really making any moves. But a very aggressive drop from the Brella could mean that they stagger.
We just see
But they
Azuka
didn't.
at the ready from 50 bucks in the ladder. There's the pig. They're gonna be able to find another. No, not at all. But that's still a big Rainmaker stop. And now 50 bucks in the lighter. They cleaned up the fight. Never mind, I stand correct. There's still there's the Nautilus. But now the fight is relatively done. You have space to work with, and now you can start moving forward with the strikes. You have the slider as well. Try to make something happen. We can
Game's
start
not slowing
moving.
down though, as specials keep on coming out, not exactly getting the 70 damage combo on this Carbon. So and 50 bucks not finding the momentum they need quite yet, but maybe by waiting they can find it. Unfortunately, they get some
Just
pushed
yet.
out by the Rainmaker.
Yeah, the Rainmaker was able to bring a lot of value there. Finding out, scoping out some of the people there is just a Wells with the hammer. We're gonna try to chuck it. We don't find anything. But
Hammer
it's
nerf.
alright, because right now, at this point, if you're Galactic Gummies, you can just stall it and just let 50 bucks come to you and then move forward, which is what we're seeing right now. Carbon's in the spawn.
Similar
They find the
situation to
well
the last
string.
match, and we get a crazy
And that's a
Rainmaker push,
big
just moving
pick.
forward while everyone's distracted by the Carbon Roller. To push
That's
to
the trouble. Do we
17,
see a
we can
quad?
comfortably sit at this lead unless we
We
just want to
do.
go for the dunk. And they get it!
And that is game 3, and that's the set for Galactic Gummies. The Carbon basically just said, yeah, no, I'm just gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna go make sure that we're able to just keep the Rainmaker going, doing all the things, getting a quad at that moment as well. I mean, if you're $50 in a ladder, there's not much you can do.
Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate on the side of the $50 and a lighter, but that's just how things go. Sometimes you just run into Thanos in bracket. I feel like actually now I
Exactly.
remember I've seen Leggy before. I've gone up against that guy. He's nuts.
Sometimes
Name now rings the bell when I see him at work.
it's just the Carbon. Sometimes it's just the Carbon that's just boom. They're just gonna do it, and you can't do anything about it outside of looking out for them and making sure they're at least stopped from their reign of terror. However, this is going to be the last set we're going to be commentating, and so before we take our leave, where can the people find you?
Where can people find me? Intensemicrowave.bluesky.social, of course. That's like the main social media site I'll be active on. That's very broad, but if you see me by the same name in any random Discord servers, hey, come say hi. Where can people find you?
They can also find me on Blue Sky at twilight1538.bluesky.social. I do have a YouTube, it is just not linked in here, but if you look up something of Twilight 1538 Splatoon content, or if you take a look at my Sendu, you should be able to see it there, and I'll just post stuff whenever I feel like point. But that's going to be all from us. Stay tuned for bracket, and we will see you guys another time.
See ya!
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Shark Tank Shallow Waters. We're going to show you the gold bracket coming up here. Stamali, are you hoping to see anything cool?
Yeah, there are some awesome teams that are kind of laid out here in gold bracket. Some like lower seeds going against some high seeds. The one team in seed 1 is currently 4-0, so I'm excited to see if they get to finals, see what they kind of have up their pockets. And speaking of pockets, we will be going and watching a team that is Pocket Aces that many of you should know because they are a common person in Shark Tank Shallow Waters.
Yeah, Pocket Aces versus Six Pack Yolks. We got two very well-known low-level teams here. Over on the side of Yolks, I'm really curious to see what they have. I know that at least from their comp like a year ago to now, like now we have Pink Dapple. Hype sometimes brings out the V Mini. Sam is pretty much always going to be rocking bucket. No, sorry, Val's is pretty much always going to be rocking bucket. So I'm really curious to see the comp from Pocket Aces. This is the comp from the Six Pack Yolks. Curious, are you familiar with the kind of comps that Pocket Aces run?
Yes, when I was actually doing Shark Tank Shallow Waters as a little gooby as a kid, Pocket Aces was a team that I went against in gold bracket, and me and my good friend Oxy here went against them, and we got the good Shark Tank badge. But they are a amazing team to go against, super friendly, and they have a really good comp to go against, and they definitely know their place on how to get back into the swing of getting out of a push.
Yeah, I think that Pocket Aces, from the times that I've seen them occasionally played against them, like really good, really aggressive comp, able to take their dives. With the Yolks, I think that we're going to see a lot of Kaneko taking those swings with those dapples, using something like beacons to get jumps for themselves and for their team. I think Kaneko and Val's are able to make a really good frontline fighting pair, being able to play off of, getting some dodge rolls out, getting some sloshes from the bucket. We're going to be loading into Rainmaker Humpback Pump Track. Really good map for AoE, and at least current state of the game, just a lot of AoE everywhere. So excited to see what they bring out here.
Yeah, I know, especially for me as a backline player, Humpback Pump Track, you have to play in especially very specific spots, and you have to do amazing picks just to make sure that you don't get that first pick gone at a moment and get an automatic push to first check. So I'm excited to see what they have on their backline and see if they're going to go for more of an aggressive push or kind of wait out to see who gets more turf.
Yeah, I think like once you kind of get whoever gets that advantage in neutral starts getting that first push, you're gonna make that break for right check. And once you make that break for right check, if something like a reef slider goes off, if something like a hammer goes down that corridor, you're done, right? Because like it's just a straight shot. You're gonna get so many points. So this is definitely a map where you want to lock down that right check, your left check. That elbow, it's really hard to push past, but the second it gets cleared, you're just going to get all the points in the world.
Oh, definitely. One of my favorite things is the good old Price Strike special is perfect to initiate on elbow and just getting more of that push and making sure you can block off that one taller snipe area just to make sure that you won't get any possible snipe for your Rainmaker to go down in that section. And that one small area gains so many points in so little time. So a lot of them have to make sure that they keep their turf up in that area so they don't lose a lot of points so quick.
Yeah, I think that this is definitely a map where you have very four distinct, definite quadrants. You have that elbow on right with the window, you have the bunker on left, and then it mirrors over to your side, right? So you have your bunker, your window, and you kind of have to make sure that you control each of those quadrants based off of where that push is, right? So you push out, you have your two quadrants, you have your window, your bunker. Where you're going to push? You're going to push into their quadrant, make sure that you can lock that down. And I mean, once that happens, pretty easy to make sure people don't want to get into bunker. They're not going to drop. On the flip side, though, you also have that left check where it's right behind bunker, and you grab a good flank there. It's really like something like a wiper, a dualies, a brush. They get that left check. You get a really good pinch going, and I think that you can create a lot of pressure from behind there.
Oh, definitely. On my CCA team, we've actually done a couple games where we've had our brush or carbon player do that flank and automatically get us that checkpoint and final push, just because people don't really keep in mind that back flank, just because it's not very common to do in this type of map. So a lot of people forget about it in this timestamp, especially when the timer is ticking very low. So they kind of rush to the one side they know more. So if they have somebody who's very aggressive and wants to flank and is wanting to do that, I would love to see a flank happen and just kind of go super crazy on this map, because it's one of my favorite things to do on this one.
For sure. I think hopefully we're going to be loading in here soon, but I also see that it looks like the Yokes have either a sub or somebody who I usually don't see on the roster here. All right. Some 6 wick something. Yeah, I think like you said, having those strikes really powerful on elbow. This is definitely a map where you want something that's going to take as much advantage of those those ledges, those curves, those bumps. I really do like seeing something like strikes come out, or even something like Reef. I think can usually get a lot of value because you have all these kind of tight corridors that something like Reef with all that AoE goes off strikes. It's really hard to move. It's pretty easy to get stuck somewhere whenever you're here on Humpback Pump Track.
Yeah, I think especially for specific Rainmaker maps, mainly Humpback, special advantage is a huge thing that needs to be coordinated super well, just to make sure you can keep your turf in mind while you're pushing these specific hard pushes like the elbow. So keeping in mind what type of specials they're using, is it going to be a bubble versus a tri-strike? And I'm super excited to see what type of specials they will be using.
Okay, hey, it looks like we're loading in here. And I think it looks like on the side of Pocket Aces, we're going to have some Decav, Tri-Stinger, Forge Pro, and a Dynamo. Pink Apple, V-Mini, Gold Dynamo.
Wow,
and
double
Pocket.
dynamos on both sides and 2 backlines on Pocket Aces here. So I'm excited to see how they're going to push these more tighter corners with double backline here.
Okay. Decap goes for that right flank, gets a pick on height, gets picked right back. We got 2 down on the side of the Yokes. They are trying to get a backpedal in neutral. Pocket Aces grabs Rainmaker, starts booking it over to the right check. Are they going to be able to get the dunk? No. Get punished out of that. Goes down. And it looks like we're trying to push towards the pedestal again.
Yeah, it's a great start for Pocket Aces here, going down and pushing up as much as they could on that first initial push, and kind of gaining back speed here in mid, while also keeping in mind where elbow is going to be placed for that Rainmaker. Pushing out a Booyah Bomb here, trying to stop the Rainmaker from going up and kind of people from going into that elbow to kind of cause a jam here. Dynamo pushing up here gets a trade as well, so, and they lose Rainmaker during that. Dynamo goes for a scrappy push in mid as well.
Pocket Aces, they're getting staggered out towards mid. Forge Pro goes down, Stringer goes down. Yokes have a really good advantage here. They gotta start swimming to pedestal, get the dunk. They're able to get it. They're going to want to shred here, get some sort of advantage, start pushing, but 2 go down on the side of Yokes. They're not going to be able to sustain this push.
They do go 3 down here. They are trying to get this last push here just to try and get some numbers, but they have to back out and they lose this push because of that. Let's see how Pocket Aces kind of gains back mid here. And we see this mini. Yeah, we see this mini come out and try to like kind of sneakily do this kind of push here.
Yeah, Hype goes for the Dark, but the AoE on that Rainmaker explosion is just too much. They're playing mids here. Somebody gets a flank. Kaneko comes behind, destroys them with that quick DPS. Looks like Yokes is trying to stall it out for some more neutral in mid. But I think Pocket Aces just has too much object damage. They're not going to be able to sustain that.
Yeah, the Dapples do go down there. Dynamo tries to go for a second pick here, but goes down 2, so it's just their back lines. And we kind of try to see here how they can keep mid here and try and make sure that Sixpack doesn't try and get too much turf advantage while they are down during this time.
Yeah, we've been seeing some really good pushes on both sides, and as we see, we're having a lot of trouble getting past that first check. Kaneko goes for the flank, gets a pick, trying to work their way further in, getting a stagger on the side of Aces. Hype comes out with the hammer to pick up the Rainmaker. They're trying to get around this elbow, but it looks like their Dynamos are fighting, battling in the elbow, battle of AoE to see who can actually get control of that elbow so they can start pushing in.
Looks like the decap does go down here trying to get that last pick, and Sixpack is just trying to go for those points here because it just goes by so fast here. They pass by the Booyah Bomb down to 25. So Pocket Aces has a bit to go, going especially through that first checkpoint, and then trying to get past that first 25 is going to be kind of a challenge here.
Mace has the bubble ready. I think they're going to be looking to set it up in a good spot so that way the rest of the Pocket Aces are going to be able to push off of that bubble. Still have it on, haven't been able to pop it yet. Looks like our Dynamos push again, trying to play that wall so they're not able to push past that elbow. Bubble gets set up. I think we're going to be able to go for the dunk here. Chumps come out from the side of the Yokes, and they're 3 down.
Especially well done bubble placement there, especially tied with the Booyah Bomb. A Jet coming out as well, trying to see if they can get any pushes. The Rainmaker does unfortunately go down. 2 go down on Pocket Aces. We can see if the decap tries to get any more picks here. Mini goes down, so it's currently 25 to 44. Decap's trying to get into fights. Unfortunately, just gets out of turf. And Dynamo also trying to go in for a push, doesn't really work in. And a wipeout happens. Let's see how much Sixpack can go back into mid and see how fast they can get back to that elbow to get for another huge push here.
Yeah, it looks like Pocket Aces are back on 4 up. They're trying to contest that elbow. IFEB is taking the flank, trying to get that Dynamo out of position so they can't really support their team. Trying to cut them off, go for a pinch, but they get punished. 3 go down on the side of Pocket Aces. They're going in hard and fast, not being able to sustain these fights.
Yeah, it just seems like even though they have a lot of backline turf advantage, it just seems they constantly are going down, and the paint advantage of the Dapples and Mini are just going crazy against this comp, and they're being so much more aggressive compared to the other Dynamo and Decap, so it's just constantly in a scrappy fight of who has more turf and who can kind of outlive this paint and kind of make sure that they can live.
I think Kaneko's being able to take some really good flanks, draw a lot of attention from Pocket Aces, so they have to really start putting resources to deal with the Dapples. And Dapples is definitely a weapon that you don't want to fight on their terms. The second you start moving towards them, the fight is over.
Oh no, the Rainmaker dropped, so they couldn't get that last push in, so it ended with the drop being 29 points. Oh, that's so unfortunate for Pocket Aces.
Yeah, it looks like they were super close to being able to eke out that lead, but they just didn't have the team there to help propel that Rainmaker forward. And we're at 1 point for the Sixpack Yokes.
Very close game during the end there. It was very interesting to see how a double backline team on Humpback was going to go, since backline on Humpback isn't the best to do, so I was kind of surprised to see both a Bow and Dynamo kind of interacting together. So I'm excited to see what they're going to be pulling out for ink blocks, since there's a lot of hills and bumps, so I'm not too sure if a bow would be kind of prominent here or if they're going to be keeping the double backline once again.
Yeah, but in Flat, you have that wall, you have those 2 stacks. This is definitely a map where I feel there's just so much that gets in the way if you're longer range. And so having something like Bucket, like Dynamo, is definitely going to be preferred here because you're able to play around those corners, play around those walls. I would imagine seeing some sort of switch off from the Stringer because, at least in my opinion, it is kind of a lot harder to get value off of a pick like that.
Yeah, as an avid VO fan, playing it in turf and opens from time to time, it's not super well in comp at the moment, so you just kind of have to kind of convince yourself that you just need to do something else to help make sure your team can stay advantageous and make sure that your backlines are staying more solid so you can keep control and make sure flanks don't get too out of hand because while yes, bows can chip, it's kind of hard to go against Adaples that six-pack Yolks has. So it's kind of making sure that you can stay consistent with your backline flanks and call out specific weapons that are coming to attack you.
I think that Dapple's Kaneko was able to get those flanks in, draw a lot of power, a lot of resources away from where Pocket Aces wanted to put them. We're loading back in here. Let's see if we have any comp changes on either of these 2 teams. Pocket Aces sticking with what they had before, and it looks like the Yokes
keep
are
the
sticking with
double
what they had before.
backline.
Rolling out here, I think
Coming
we're going to
out
be
here.
able
Oh,
to
yeah.
expect probably somebody playing in that pit. It looks like Kaneko's going for that pit already.
Yeah, Dapples are already trying to look for a fight here, trying to get a pick on this Dynamo, but gets backed up here by the bow chips. Trying to look for a kind of spot to get over here on the left side. Bow drops here, so it's looking for a fight already. Dapples kind of getting scrappy, gets scrapped in the mid. And Pocket Aces does have the numbers advantage with six packs being 2 down. So I'm excited to see how they kind of push forward here. Jet does come out. So I'm excited to see how they kind of push up here. Oh, and Dapples tries to flank and gets the pick on the bow.
Yeah, they have 2 down and 1 spawning in on the side of the Yokes. I think Pocket Aces throw the Booyah, trying to contest Plat. Gonna have to get it to this first check here. A lot of resources are coming out. Decab going in for the flank, but isn't able to actually make it happen. Gets punished without much to follow up there. We have Kaneko trying to worm their way around this check, fighting the Decab in their bubble, still manages to live, and actually gets the splat.
Pig. Wow,
Gets
that
a
was a
double,
crazy
too.
check. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a crazy fight for that checkpoint. They did manage to pass through it, but they do have a lot of turf to get back during this time because Six Pack is going for that bunker as fast as they can with the stamp. Gets 1, so they're tossing it down and going crazy with these specials.
Yeah, we have 3 people in Pocket Aces bats, but it looks like the Yokes weren't able to really sustain that push. I don't even think they were coolered. They get the splat on Kaneko. Trying to contest this tower. They're able to push it back out, but Six-Pack Yokes was able to get the lead with that push.
Nice pick from the Dynamo here, trying to get over that ledge and hits a person there. And it looks like a Dynamo fight, and Pocket Aces Dynamo wins that fight. And the Dynamo here is getting on tower, trying to make sure they can get some overhead paint over there on the plat. A Jet does come out, trying to clear out the bunkers. And a 2 go down on Six Pack in the bunkers. So this is going to be a pretty scrappy fight to try and keep this point.
Yep, I think looks like Pocket Aces was able to get the lead here. They're coolered, taking all these fights in the plat of the Six-Pack Yokes, and with that core, they're just going to be spawning back in and taking another free fight.
Yeah, Pocket Ace is trying to go in as fast as they can. You can see the Spore is trying to get a Booyah Bomb as fast as possible without going too crazy in the mid here. And they're building it up so fast. I would love to see how many Booyah Bombs this Forge is getting because they're spamming them to all get out. But these Dapples are trying to find a way to get a pick onto these backlines. Tries to go in, but gets punished for that.
Yep, Bert's Dynamo punishes the flank onto their plat. Looks like Bert's going back for the tower, trying to lock down this wall with that. Oh, huge Dynamo flicks. 3 specials up on the sides of the Yokes. They have quite a bit of special advantage here, and I think they're going to be able to have a strong push into the plat of Pocket Aces. Looks like hype goes down. They still have a lot of resources. Strikes being held onto by Vowels. Booyah gets thrown out, but it looks like the Yokes are just trying to push back out of their plat.
Yeah, Six Packs did fortunately was able to get Pocket Aces out of their bats and kind of back into their own place here. Kaneko trying to go back with Cooler, trying to get a pick here up in their bats, trying to go for the bell here, and kind of being super aggressive, trying to get their teammates back into place onto the enemy's base here.
Kraft able to deal with the dapples below them, gets recalled back to go down. They're gonna have to play carefully here to make sure that the Yokes don't get the push in. They get splatted by Kaneko. The beacon goes down, trying to get some more or presence in the bats of Pocket Aces.
I am waiting to see how this bucket plays because they haven't really been spending too much time on their strikes here when they've been holding them, which could have really helped Kaneko really get into these bats and kind of clear out a bit so they could get more of these points here. So I'm kind of patiently waiting to see how this bucket is going to play out their strikes more.
Yeah, it looks like Six Pack Yokes was trying to go for that push, but they didn't really use the resources, use the specials they had in such a way that they were able to get the areas that they wanted to get. High Feb goes down, gets splatted by Dynamo. Mace comes in, has a bubble ready. I think we're going to pop it here soon so we can lock down the bats of the Yokes, pop it in the bats. And they are just sitting there trying to get the rest of their team in, get the splat on Kaneko, and we're getting a bigger lead.
Just the backlines here. Yep, this is not a close game anymore. They have the bats here. They're locked in. Dynamo is going crazy. We just had a crazy Dynamo push there, and keeping the turf up for that decap to kind of go in on bats just secured the win for them.
Yeah, made it very clear, very definitive. Looks like now we're going to game 3 here. We're going to be loading into Robo Ramen on Splat Zones on Robo Ramen. The times I played Robo Ramen Zones, it's a map where you have flanks, but in my opinion, it still feels very stally. You kind of want to stall it out on mid, and pushing into their base can be risky. And even though with those flanks, they're very telegraphed, you can see those flanks coming just from being on mid. So it's a map where you just kind of want to stall out and play defensively on the zone if you can.
Yeah, I totally agree. As a person who loves Robo Ramen, pretty much everyone loves Robo Ramen. It's Splatoon's like child right now. I love seeing how people are able to go into those pits and try to go for a flank as much as they can, especially blasters, which neither of these teams have. So I'm kind of excited to see if anyone will be trying to get those flanks. Maybe Kaneko on those dualies, trying to go for those ramps and try to get those picks near window. I'm excited to see if they're going to keep the Go Dynamo here, since we kind of saw a difference with a team being coolered versus not, and how they were able to kind of rebuttal against these particular scrappy fights.
Yeah, I think also we're going to see a lot of jets coming out from that snipe, from that perch. I think we're going to see so we're going to see Kraft playing that perch, trying to get some AoE out to establish that glass area. But yeah, I'm really just excited to see the jets that Kraft is able to use if they stay on the bulbs. I think with how much of a straight shot you have from your glass to their glass, I think Jet could potentially get a lot of value here.
Oh, definitely. I'm especially excited to see if Pocket Aces does go and get that first check, if they're going to get on the opposing team's glass and that bow just kind of going for crazy picks for the enemy sniping, trying to make sure that they can't get past anymore. So I'm excited to see how they're going to hold up and kind of show their hyper aggression here.
Oh yeah, it'll be really cool. Same comp as before, and same comp as before. Well, switch back over to Silver Dynamo.
They heard my calling of no-go Dynamo. They want that cooler once again to try and see if they can get any more quicker fights and going back in as much as they can. And it looks like a quick cap for Pocket Aces, gaining control for this fight.
Looks like Kaneko's going for the flank, trying to get into base of Pocket Aces. Reef Slider comes out trying to harass Kraft, but I think Kraft is going to be able to not get the splat. Kaneko comes in, 3 down to the side of Pocket Aces. It's just Kraft left on that bubble, gets the pick, is able to hold the space really, really well, and gets a second
It's a
one on height.
double! Oh my gosh, that
They
decap
get
going
the third,
in
and they
with
get the
bubble.
third,
Oh my
too.
gosh! Particularly just saves Pocket Aces for that zone. And just making sure that they can stay as aggressive as they can on that decap. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it looks like we're able to get a lot of value. Even have some flow aura on our decap here. Reef comes in, not able to escape in time, but also gets punished with all that end lag.
Yeah, it's looking like right now it's just a fight for Pocket Aces to go back into that elbow and try to get back turf control with that Booyah Bomb, giving that advantage to them to make sure they can get back on here with a
There
deck
comes
coming
up
out as well. So we're kind of see if they can get that stamp. They do get it. So they're kind of pushing up with this stamp, already having turf advantage here and making sure if they can get more aggressive here, get that decap in and make sure that that bow can get on that window and kind of go crazy on that snipe.
Yep, decap is in, causing havoc. 3 go down on the side of Yokes. We have a lead now on the side of Pocket Aces. Vals goes down. They're jumping back in. Mace trying to reconnect with their team. And it looks like IFEB is having really good control of these flanks here.
Yeah, that decap is just keeping really great control of that elbow. Tries to stop the reef slider, but doesn't. But it doesn't seem like it's going to help as much. They pull out the triple ink strikes so they can pause zone here, but it doesn't end up working as Pocket Aces has that forge kind of being their turf inker and automatically just gets a knockout.
Really, really strong plays from Pocket Aces, especially from Mace. They were able to get a lot of really good, really valuable picks. That bubble saved them, and I think was able to really get the win that they needed there with that play, with that bubble going off.
That bubble was such a great play, putting it into the enemy's elbow and having your teammates jump to them when you have the zone kind of pause there just to make sure you can keep your aggressive, but make sure your teammates can also come in to help protect you as well. It's just something a decap is great to do, and making sure you have those placements for your bubbles is a key thing for decap to do. And he placed that bubble an amazing spot just to ensure that he was confident and able to push and have his teammates support him.
For sure. Yeah, wow, that was a really cool, really exciting game. And I think that gets us past round 1 of Gold Bracket.
That was an exciting game. I'm glad it wasn't just the 3-0. It was an amazing time to see Six-Pack Yolks back again and see how it was going to go.
Yeah, I think that puts Pocket Aces into their next game with Flame Runners, and also in semis we have Agenda and Cat in a Bag.
All right. And it looks like we will be going for a break here just until we get to semis, or semis, my bad. We're just going to be taking a small break just to see who's going to be playing, and I'm excited to see who we're going to get to commentate for.
All right, see you soon.
All right, welcome back, guys, for the best of 3. Once again, showing Pocket Aces back on the board here, going against Flame Runners. And I'm excited to see how Pocket Aces is kind of keeping up on their streak here and kind of going against Flame Runners, who just went against Let's Go Bloom, who was previously on the stream and went against a team who was also in Silver Bracket right now. So I'm excited to see how these maps go.
Yeah, on Flame Runners, we have Gray. Now, I don't think that's PXG Gray. That'd be pretty crazy. But I'm really curious, what we got from Flame Runners. Not sure if it's a pickup, not sure if it's a team. I think we're going to be loading into Umami Clam Blitz here. This is a map where top mid is everything. You want to control top mid as quickly as possible. If you control top mid, really easy to start pushing in.
Definitely. As a pencil player myself, I love being on that mid spine and making sure I can get those nice picks on the dome just to ensure my teammates can get into that basket and get as many clams and claim that dome as well. Just so you can have a steady push for your teammates to get more clams and kind of push that as much as can.
Okay, we're loading in here, and it looks like we have a Wiper, which I'm always happy to see. I only play Wiper, and on the side of Pocket Aces, same thing we were rocking before.
I'm particularly excited to see how they have a 96 gal here, so kind of being reliant on a 96 to be their kind of main turf painter here. The 96 does go down here trying to get a pick. The decap trying to go in for a really far push here and gets called out for it.
IFEB getting a lot of good, solid control over that top mid, trying to keep people pushed out. Looks like Flame Runners is trying to contest with quite a lot of paint that they're able to put back on mid. IFEB tosses the Booyah back. We're going to be able to have some momentum here. We get a pick, 1-1 on the side of each side. We get back up on Flame Runners. Still just really a fight for mid here. Oh, but 3 go down on Pocket Aces.
Was that a torp kill I just saw from which was kind of interesting to see. The decap once again trying to go in for picks here. Gets called out by a Jet and Bubble. That gets called in. A back trying to get pushed in here as well. It does go down. 2 go down on Pocket Aces here, but there is no ball currently being made. So how are they going to try and push this? They actually made a ball. Never mind. They read my mind.
Yeah, I think Flame Runners, they really don't have control of too much clam economy. Decent control of their basket, but it looks like Pocket Aces is reclaiming control of the basket, and they're going to want to push out here, grab as many clams as possible to deny any further points from the side of Flame Runners.
The ball is getting called out here by this 96, but 2 of them go down. 3 go down on Flame Runners. Let's see if Pocket Aces tries to go and push up here as much as they can and try to get as much of their clan economy back just so they can get more points down.
Pocket Aces builds Power Clam. They have some points. They're able to get it down halfway. Get a really quick push here. 2 go down on the side of Flame Runners. 3. We are in a stagger. We're going to be wanting to cycle clams here, but I'm not sure if we're going to be able to find any. Looks like we have 2 from Burt. They build the Power Clam. Are they going to toss it in time? Oh, they do! And we only have 7 points remaining as Pocket Aces gets an extremely strong push in.
That was a crazy push that Pocket Aces was managing to keep as long as they could with that Jet coming out and stopping that Dynamo from coming in and punishing them. And with 7 points being left, that is an incredibly far push that Flame Runners needs to do with only 65 at their time. So they need to get as many clams as they can to try up to keep their advantage and as many specials that can keep so they can keep this push as long as possible so they can try and get even with Pocket Aces.
IFEB throws out that Booyah, grabs that... Oh, no, that's Flame Runner's Power Clam. Wiper trying to stop any pushes out, ratting around mid, but they're really not able to sustain too much paint, and it looks like they're having to fall back. But Flame Runners has a really good control of this mid here, and I think Pocket Aces is just trying to find a push out. But on the side of Pocket Aces, I mean, you can push out, you want to, but you have such a comfortable lead that they are able to push out anyway. Mace gets some picks, starts beelining it towards the enemy basket, and gets picked.
A nice try, nice push from Pocket Aces trying to come up with something just so they can keep that aggressiveness. Knocks down with the Jet coming out here so they can get this other push with the clam they have. Gets 2 with the Jet. That's my Jet. right there, guys. Goes up on Dome, ensuring that they keep this aggressive push as long as they can. With only 8 penalty points left, are they going to manage to get that Dynamo coming in to make sure they can get this last points back in? And they do.
Wow, really quick, really cool KO from the side of Pocket Aces. That first push just really set them up for that KO. They were able to cycle clams, get picks, and they just had such a strong start there that like the KO, it was imminent. It was gonna happen.
It definitely. Um, I'm so happy to see when Bose and the Dynamo were working together to kind of cycle who was getting the clams there and making sure that they had this special advantage while they were having that clam basket open, just to make sure that their front lanes are able to be comfortable while trying to get those fights and keep turf up so that the opposing team of Flame Runners couldn't get as much advantage while trying to push.
Yeah, I think with Pocket Aces, Mace was just able to find a lot of really good picks, and we just saw a lot of really good special usage on the side of Pocket Aces, with like Inkjet coming out, finding really good, really important picks, so that Pocket Aces was able to get the pushes in that they wanted and be able to really just get complete control of the enemy basket here.
I totally agree. And up next, it's looking like Crab Lake Capital, which I'm excited about as a zones lover and a pencil lover. So being on those grades is going to be super huge for that bow player to make sure they can get some crazy picks on the enemy's team, snipe, and that right side, just to make sure that they can keep this aggressive push that they're keeping with this decav as well. And I'm excited to see how Flame Runners is going to combat how this jet is kind of punishing them with the amount of less turf they have combat with as much turf as Pocket Aces is having at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Crab Leg is such a long map that I imagine it's really advantageous for Pocket Aces to have as much range as they do have with the bow, with the pro.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Flame Runners changes just because 96 Gal and the other weapons that they do have does kind of cause a struggle. Is that a bow I see come out on Flame Runners here?
It looks like they're starting to mirror what Pocket Aces is running.
Too
If you can't pick them, join them.
Yeah, two teams doing double backline is not what I expected to see in finals bracket here.
Ooh, Gray gets
like a
double on the Pocket Aces.
Crazy fight happening with Bo. Gets another one with that crazy pick from Bo. Are they gonna go up and try and get up on here and Gray to try to go up as much as they can?
Trying to go for Burt. They're able to establish some control on the grates. It looks like the Wiper is just completely trying to lock them out on right here. Gray starting to take position where the Wiper is. They're getting a strong lead here. It looks like they're starting to go down. Really keeping Pocket Aces locked out, but as two go down on the side of Flame Runners, Pocket Aces is able to run back out, get control of mid, and get the flip.
Yeah, it's looking like they're trying to make sure that they don't have anyone leaving behind any marks here, just so they don't get called out by anyone specifically hiding. They managed to gain back mid very quickly, just so they can ensure that they have the turf advantage here and make sure they can see everyone up top and make sure that this bow can pop any jets as soon as possible just to call anyone out. As they do, and they get a double here by this jet, and just making sure that they can get these crazy pushes, and that Forge is getting some great advantageous Booyah bombs just to make sure that these teammates can push out into this area as well.
And now that Pocket Aces is coolered up, they're ready for some free fights against Flame Runners. Chumps come out, but I'm not sure if Flame Runners is going to be able to push out in time. They have a strong lead. Two go down on the side of Pocket Aces. They're able to get the flip.
And that was a great push.
Gonna have to jump back. Yes.
Great recap from Flame Runners here, going back to that right side as fast as possible, trying to combat this bow here with this Wiper. Hopefully they can get Stamp here soon so they can try and kind of either throw it at this bow or have somebody else help them. And it looks like they are picking up Cooler and might actually be throwing this Stamp here soon because they are getting picked up here in mid and going down with their Dynamo and their bow going down, and that is a flip for Pocket Aces.
Yep. Two go down on the side of Flame Runners. We're trying to push back out here. Holding on to the zone, just barely. Pocket Aces. There is a lot going on in mid here. Oh my god.
That was a double bubble fight. That was particularly very interesting to see. Flame Runners does manage to switch the zone back here. The Stam trying to go back and get a pick as much as they can with how little turf they have at the moment forward. And trying to see if they can go back to that right side as fast as they can. Doesn't look like they're managing to get that because of the bow going back on top of Grates and stopping them from being able to push.
Yeah, I feel like Flame Runners here, they're just trying to establish control of mid, but without taking any picks out on the side of Pocket Aces. It's just the zone is too hot and they're not able to get the control that they want to be able to establish paint control and hold mid, hold the zone. Pocket Aces is getting some jumps in, keeping Flame Runners pushed out, but I don't think, yeah, they're just not finding the picks that they need. Burt goes down on the side of Pocket Aces. Maybe Flame Runners can find the picks that they need.
It's gonna be looking a little bit rough here. Never mind, a stamp just got thrown at somebody's face, so it's looking like a switch back to Flame Runners here. I'm really hoping to see some more aggro pushes from this decaf that they have, because right now it just seems to tend to be more of a turf painter and kind of more of a midliner than trying to be more aggressive with their stamp. And it is particularly interesting to see two stamps working together on this type of map, since they don't have any shooters to kind of help combat this this force that is gaining so many turf points for their booyahs that are stopping them from pushing.
Yeah, Flame Runners was able to get some really important picks here, and now Pocket Aces, they're stuck in their plat. Can they get the lead here? They do. 2 go down. I think they're going to... No, we're 2-2. We're playing...
Oh my gosh,
neutral
Flame
and
Runners
mid.
might actually keep this. And they get the knockout. Wow.
That was a really cool back and forth. We just saw absolute just ratting, skirmishing, fighting in mid. Lot of happening, a lot of action in that mid. But I think Flame Runners, they were able to get the lockouts they needed for long enough that Pocket Aces just couldn't be able to get the picks, get the hold that they needed for long enough, consistently enough.
Yeah, I definitely think that stamp at the last second was a great point, because while it did get that one person down, it also painted that zone, which they needed because they were lacking a bit of that paint at that moment, which helped bring them more to that push and kind of just go hit the ground running, getting that bow on the Grates and just going crazy and keeping their hold as long as possible.
Was a 10% radius reduction really enough? I guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. All right. Coming up next, Rainmaker on Museum de Alfonsino. Museum de Alfonsino is interesting to me in terms of its opening. You have one flank. You are almost guaranteed that somebody is going to take that flank. So you're going to have somebody waiting for you. I would imagine if we're going to keep the Wiper, Wiper's going to take that. I'm not sure what the right pick is for Pocket Aces on who's going to take that. Decaf is going to have trouble with that ledges. You'd probably want IFEB with Pro, but again, Pro's not really playing to its strengths by taking that flank.
Yeah, definitely. I will probably think that Decaf will have to do the flank if they want to actually try and kind of start that advantageous push on left. But at the moment, it's looking like the only person who might be able to do that is the regular Wiper on Flame Runners' side. But I'm not even too sure if they're going to be keeping the same comp, since I'm not too sure how both a Dynamo and Bow is going to be on Museum, since that is a double backline once again on a Rainmaker map that has a lot of spots that need a lot of handling by frontliners.
Yeah, I think with a comp like that, you really just have to make sure that Bow is constantly painting for that Dynamo so that it can set up the places that it wants to go.
And it's looking like the same comps from last game, so I'm excited to see how they're going. It's looking like I was correct that Decaf is going to be going for that push.
See a Wiper here trying to play for that ramp. Gets kind of pushed out by a lot of AoE. 3 go down on the side of Flame Runners, and we are rushing to take their plat with Mace.
Yeah,
Gets the
that
spot
Dynamo
Dynamo
gets
too.
slapped in the face. Oh my goodness, that Decaf is hitting the ground running. Finally gets hit out, and it's looking like they're hitting the ground running with this Rainmaker as much as they can. unfortunately drops into the pit and making sure that the Rainmaker gets dropped here, which is an unfortunate fault for Pocket
Yeah.
Aces.
Pocket Aces went out with a lot of aggression, but they were able to get a really strong lead within the first 40 seconds. This is
Yeah.
definitely a map where you kind of just have to eke out past that spinner and then just run for it, and they ran for it, and I think they got rewarded fairly well for it.
Yeah, having that decap just hitting the ground running for them really helped make sure that Pocket Aces was able to keep that kind of very fast group happening on the left there, trying to make sure that they can keep this push as safe as possible because they have to keep in mind that the opposite team does have that Stamper and Decap so they could jump out at any time. And that is a trait that happens for the Decap and Stamper. And a lot of people going down right now, so it's 2-2 on both sides. Let's see how taking back mid is going to go.
We got a shark here on the side of Pocket Aces. Mace gets punished by the other decab. Bubble goes up, but nobody to live in it. Viper starts taking their plat, ratting around. They're going to want to try and get this jet here. I think they might get punished. No, the jet is not landing the shots they need. Viper is just going all over the place, trying to get the punish. The recall just moves out of their sight.
That was crazy. That jump kind of just disappeared. I
Oh,
kind of feel bad
Viper.
for that Viper because
that
he
in
was
my soul.
he was humping. He was like staying right there for it. And Pocket Aces is just going for this push. Gets a pick with the Dynamo there, popping cooler to make sure that they can keep this push alive as long as possible.
Yeah, Pocket Aces has control of the Rainmaker. Trying to find the picks they need to get an even stronger lead. They're just going for it. Slight lead increase. Chumps come out. I'm not sure if they are going for it anyway with an even bigger lead at 16 points remaining.
At this point, it probably doesn't matter much because with that cooler, they're just right back at it, and that decap is making sure that they can keep at least mid a bit more of a section that Pocket Aces can keep comfortable. And with 16 points on Pocket Aces, Flame Runners has a lot to go through to make sure that they can keep this game at an equal point, just to make sure they can get to finals here.
Yeah, I think Flame Runners, they're going to have to find some specials. They're going to have to find some picks. They just have to really get Pocket Aces off their plat. But with that Dynamo, with that bow, it's really hard to break into the areas that you want. They're just able to deny so much space with those big AoE hitboxes.
Yeah, and comparing the bows here, with the chumps here, it's not as advantageous as a jet because the chumps can get easily taken out by the Dynamo here with how much paint turf they have. He almost fell into the water there. Glad he didn't. It's looking like Pocket Aces is having to kind of rebuild their push here just to make sure that they can keep their push alive and kind of defend their spots so Flame Runners doesn't get a lot of points. They get to 28, but they still have 3 up, so they might get this jump down. And we can see that this is going to be actually a closer fight than we thought.
Yeah, if we can get the object damage we need, we're going to push out past. It's going to be hard to really get... Oh, no, but Dynamo sets up in such a strong spot, able to just lay down paint. 2 go down on the
Oh my gosh, this is going to be
They're
so
going to try
close.
and go for it. Oh,
They Pocket Aces grabbed it. Oh my gosh.
denied to them. We pop it with hammer. Can we get lead? We
Get
do.
the lead. Oh my gosh.
4 points remaining and only 1 down on the side of Pocket Aces. If we pop, we can get the knockout. We are shredding with everything we have.
Pocket Aces is just trying to keep it as much as they can. Trying that Flame Runners place just to ensure that they had this Rainmaker up and going. And this is going to be much of a closer fight going into overtime to make sure that they can keep this alive. I'm not even sure if overtime is going to happen at this point. Nope. It's not going to happen, which is so unfortunate for Pocket Aces, which Flame Runners does get the 2 points. So Flame Runners will be going into finals here.
Yeah. I think with that, we have
2 more games left. We have
yeah,
2 more
two
games.
more games. So we're both still in the running here. We're going to ship-shape cargo. In my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me, the best tower control map. Have some cool stacks. I think it's like Final Destination, but tower control.
I'm gonna agree with the Final Destination part because I absolutely despise ship shape as a pen player because it is not fun at all for me. So I think I can speak to most backline players here who are chargers that we do not like this map because it's not fun for us, and it's super hard to get placements as a backline here because you're constantly moving, especially with this tower being in super tricky spots that you want to stay as a charger. So you just have to make sure you can maneuver as fast as possible. So these bows are going to be very interesting to try and keep out as much as they can because these two are going to be constantly moving because of how fast these towers are probably going to be moving around.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna guess that we're gonna see both those dynamos stick around. We're probably gonna see them set up on those two stacks on left and on right. They're gonna really be able to, if they get set up there, just completely lock down the enemy court on each respective side. Bert is gonna come in to right stack, lock down the enemy court, respective for the other dynamo, take their stack, lock down the enemy court. And I think it's going to be really a game of taking those dynamos offline so that you actually are able to move in. And I think that's kind of what we saw with that museum game.
Definitely. All right, and it's looking like the same comp for Flame Runners and the same comp. Oh, Wellstring! Wellstring on IFAB. Oh my goodness. I'm excited to see how this is actually going to go now. With the Wellstring coming out with is that the Wavebreaker? That's Wavebreaker Well.
Wow, Custom
Excited to
Lustring would
see.
like to know your location kit. Okay, IFEB taking the stack. We have decent control of who we're pushing into the core of Flame Runners. We take the tower. Hammer comes out. I think we're going to see a throw here. It gets thrown to free up Craft. They're already in control of Flame Runner's stack, and we're going to want to take their court.
And it's looking like a nice push here, held by the Wellstring in this court area, making sure they can get this past checkpoint out. 3 go down, and making sure this Wellstring can stay alive, and that is a delayed wipe for Pocket Aces. And that Stamper is hitting the ground running, making sure that they can get these points back up on their side, just to show they can stay in the game here. And that Dynamo also pushing up as much as they can, get to trade for that, and making sure that they can keep up the kind of pace here, make sure they can keep staying aggressive with the crazy stamp throw here as well.
Looks like Pocket Aces is coolered up, trying to get control of their court. They're 2 down, but they are coolered, so they're going to be able to push back out here quickly. Flame Runners has a really strong lead now. 2 go down. It looks like Pocket Aces is going to push them off. No, but the Dino trades them out. Pocket Aces still has enough momentum to push forward, hopefully reclaim their stack. We're just beelining it towards mid and going for their stack instead of ours.
Honestly, a crazy push here going on here. A Booyah Bomb might be great here to help make sure that your teammates can get put in here. And going on the left swing here, getting that Dynamo down and ensuring that your teammates can go in as much as they can and getting this push as strong as possible for Pocket Aces. Making sure we can get this last checkpoint, make sure it's safe and sound, and they can keep this push strong as possible. But 2 do go down on Pocket Aces. That makes 3.
Oh, we had the cooler. We're going to be able to push back in, but getting that push, being able to continue, it's going to be hard. And with that, Flame Runners is already in control of Pocket Ace's court, so we're going to have to fight just to reclaim our court. That cooler may not have gotten the full value that they were hoping for. Mace pops a bubble. They get a pincer from one of the Flame Runners in their court, trying to find a pick. Oh, damaged somebody else. They get the pick. I think we have the continuation of Pocket Ace's push.
Pocket Aces is definitely pushing in as much as they can with that decav. Crazy bubble placement there as well, just to ensure that they can get that place. It's knocked down with that stamp, so it's looking like a very fast retake from Flame Runners here. They are both keeping up this fight as long as they can to make sure they can keep this as close as possible until time runs out.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Flame Runners, they have just the slightest narrowest lead here, so they're not in any position to be comfortable. Playing for left stack, Dynamo comes out, Oh, and we survived the Booyah Bomb. Oh my god.
That was
Two
crazy.
go down on the side of Pocket Aces. We're stalling out in mid here, trying to play a bit of a neutral game.
Yeah, this is definitely not gonna be a super crazy knockout game. This is gonna be nail biter for sure, with it being 36 and 38. Both teams are fighting for their court here, especially Pocket is just trying to gain their specials up to make sure that they can keep this up. And it's looking like they're trying to stall this as much as they can, but with the specials coming out, that bow just gets picked out as much as they can.
Got too much AoE for them in that small little elbow. Looks like Decaf is going for the elbow, trying to get a fight. They get pincered. Decaf is able to take care of them. Oh, this is a really hard, really kind of brutal place to be, especially that elbow. It's just really easy to get locked out and locked down in there.
Definitely, and since Flame Runners doesn't have as much as offensive specials as Pocket Aces does, so that elbow is definitely harder for them to push against, since they have to actually go into that elbow and forcibly get one of their people into that elbow and make sure they can keep that clear for that entire checkpoint, just to make sure they can get that pass.
Yeah, looks like Pocket Aces is trying to push back in here. We got a slight lead increase on the side of Flame Runners. We're pushing that tower forward to go down. We're going to have to be careful here, or else Pocket Aces might be able to get a strong counter push. Here we go. This is probably their last chance. We're going to go to overtime here for Pocket Aces to get the lead that they want.
Yeah, that Forge better be trying to get that Booyah Bomb as fast as possible, but they do unfortunately go down. Whales come out. This Decap is going crazy. Gets pushed down. This is going to be a
Clumping
crazy
in
close
here.
game, guys.
Yep. Looks like Flame Runners is on the back foot. They almost have lead on the side of Pocket Aces. We just have to push it to this second check to go down on the side of Flame Runners.
They just have to get 3 more picks.
With the Booyah to come out. Oh!
And they get the lead in overtime.
We are now going to a game 5.
That was a nail biter the entire time, guys. Wow. Those bows were duking it out as much as they can. Those stamps were flying everywhere and getting picks as much as they can. It was crazy seeing those dynamos fight, and I'm just excited to see how they're going to go on Scorch Gorge Clams.
Yeah, Pocket Aces was able to really clutch up that that last second overtime push. They got the picks they needed. I think that Booyah came out at just about the right time. Maybe it could have been like a second later, but I think that Booyah really helped to establish those points they needed to push them over the edge and get that lead.
Most definitely. And going into Scorch Gorge here, this could be anyone's game because these games have been so close, especially that ship shape being an overtime win for Pocket Aces. I'm excited to see how they're going to go in Scorch Gorge, since this is a very much broader map, so they won't have those as much tight corners as ship shapes for these dynamos to kind of go crazy and get these kind of insane picks on the kind of on the decav as well. So I'm kind of excited to see how the Stamper on Flame Runners is trying to kind of go get these picks for these bows.
Yeah, I'm also hoping that something I'm hoping to see is with Wiper. From the times I played this map, Wiper, if you drop into that right pit on rollout, really strong flank, you're able to pull a lot of attention, a lot of resources away, and I think that could maybe get Flame Runners the opening that they need to really pull some of Pocket Ace's resources away.
Most definitely. I'm excited to see if they're going to keep the Wellstring here or they're going to swap it back out to the Jet, which I honestly think they should, because Jet on this map could get some really cool picks, especially over ledge on the enemy snipe here, just so they can get more of an advantage push, just so they can get the clams in as much as they can.
Pretty similar to what we've seen before.
Brought out the they brought out the Jet, folks. I'm sorry, there's not gonna be a Wellstring.
On out here, looks like Pocket Aces has quite a wide control of mid. Decaf goes down from Mace. I think Bert was just chilling back there for a sec.
Yeah,
Alright.
I think. Yeah, that was a slight AFK moment there, but they are using that Booyah as much as they can to get some turf advantage back. Almost dies to a chip combo there from the bow and Chump, which is kind of exciting to see as a bow player.
Dynamo trade. Wow.
These dynamos are constantly going at it. This is literally just a cat fight for whose dynamo can hit the other dynamo as fast as possible. But Flame Runners does have the advantage here. With double bubble fight, once again, the decap does come in and punish that bubble as fast as they can. But Reef Runner still has the mid advantage here.
Looks like Flame Runners has a really good control of mid. They have a little bit of clam economy. They're not really going to be able to get in a really strong first push until they get a few more clams. I think they're going to need to grab a few more clams to get the resources that they need.
It's looking like the decap here is going for a flank and gets two. While they get that flank down, that is a wipeout for Pocket Aces. And it looks like the bow here is actually going to stick up on Snipe here, trying to get these picks here. With the Dynamo here gets more clams so they can keep up this push as long as possible.
We're cycling through. We're almost down 50 points. Yes, halfway. I think that's going to be close at the end of our push here as Pocket Aces is able to punish the hold that they have and establishes control of mid.
Yeah, that Dynamo is going for these pushes, and it looks like it's going to be getting a pick here. It actually does not, and is managing to kind of push up into this elbow here, even though they don't have the clam ready yet.
Yeah, Pocket Aces has to go down. Flame Runners isn't really able to have control of mid that they want. With only two, Pocket Aces still has control of mid as the rest of their team jumps up.
It looks like that power climb is finally deciding to show up here and try to make sure this push can go as sound as possible. The bow does go down, but they do manage to get that ball in. But with that wipeout, it's going to seem like they just gave a free pity for Flame Runners here as they are hitting the ground running to the opposing team's ball area and making sure they can keep this push even stronger.
Yeah, Flame Runners is able to continue their push. They get a power climb in, only down to 29 points. 2 go down, 3 go down on the side of Pocket Aces. That decav is in their base, trying to take as much space as they can, so that way the rest of Flame Runners can go out and start cycling clams, but they don't have enough time. And so we're starting to just try and keep control of their plat, but Pocket Aces is pushing out strong.
That is a trade that goes down with Flame Runner's Dynamo, but they do have that Stamper holding the ball and keeping mid pretty safe here and trying to make sure that they can keep this push alive as strong as possible to go down on Pocket Aces here. And Pocket Aces really needs to keep those specials up so they can make sure they can keep mid as strong as possible for them and they can get those clam economy back onto their side because Flame Runners has 2 balls right now, and if they get those in, that might be game.
Yeah, Pocket Aces is struggling to control the 2 things that they need, control of the basket and control of the clam economy. And with a hammer throw, the basket opens, power clam goes in. We only need, I believe, 4 more clams. There's 1, there's 2,
they
there's
get that
3,
in.
And there's 4.
Flame Runners ends up getting the win in a knockout on Scorch Clams, guys.
That was a really cool set, and I think we were able to see a lot of clutch ups from both teams. Pocket Aces with that tower overtime, a really quick, decisive KO from Flame Runners on the Scorch map as well.
Yeah, that was a really close game on both ends. Both teams should be super proud of all of those games. They were so fun to watch and see how they were fighting together, especially because double backline is not as popular as it used to be. So seeing both of these teams running the same exact comp with minor changes was kind of interesting to see how they kind of managed to work around their teammates that were almost essentially the same, minor, like minus one of their teammates being different.
Yeah, I think really, really cool plays. I think that being able to have a bit of flexibility from Pocket Aces was able to help them, especially on like that tower control map as well. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up very quickly, and we'll see everyone again really soon.
All right,
All
welcome
right.
back, everyone. Oh,
All good.
welcome back, everyone. This is the finals for gold bracket here. We have Cat in the Bag and Flame Runners, which we just saw who won against a close game in Pocket Aces. So that game will be fighting for third. And we're excited to see how Flame Runners is going to go against Cat in the Bag, which has a jump scare of some Crankin' 28's people as well. So I'm excited to see how those two teams are going to go against each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you take a look at the rosters, if you hang around like the Div 7 cap scene, you'll see Twistifer from Crank 28s. So kind of like a regular of the D7 scene. Uh, really excited to see these matches. Two teams that were able to, at least from what we saw on Flame Runners, have a lot of really strong plays, really strong picks.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how Flame Runners is going to run on Splatzone's Hagglefish because they will have the double backline, and I'm not too sure what Cat in the Bag will have for their comp as well. So I'm excited to see how Flame Runners was going to kind of switch up their play as if this team won't have double backline once again. So I'm excited to see if they're going to keep up the more aggressive Dynamo push or if this Dynamo is going to become more of a supportive midline and kind of make sure that this decaf can get more aggressive pushes.
Yeah, I think Hagglefish Market is a really good map for something like Sword. It's just so flat, right? You're able to just throw out those hitboxes, throw out slashes, and they just there's no obstructions in your way. You're able to get around corners. You're able to just get a lot of clean, easy picks.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see what Cat in the Bag will have to offer since we've seen Flame Runners comp time and time again, and the Bow and Dynamo are here to stay, and they're confident in their ability to keep as much aggressive pushes as they can to make sure that their decaf can get in and kind of go kind of nutty on these other teammates. And I'm excited to see how this decaf is going to be able to get to that switchback and kind of keep that aggressive push if they get a lockout.
Yeah, I think especially also this is going to be a pretty good, decent map for something like the bows that we saw with Flame Runners. In fact, if I remember right, on that first map, they didn't even have bow, right? Did they have something else?
They did not have bow. I'm not too exactly sure what they did have, but they actually switched to bow during that second match to kind of match the energy that Pocket Aces had. So I'm excited to see if they're going to keep that comp because they're trying to match that same energy, or if they're kind of gonna go back to their original plan and make sure that they can keep their energy as strong as possible without trying to swap too much of their comp to stay in a comfortable spot.
Yeah, this is also a map where we we have really good use of. There's only like two flanks, but I think with how much attention you have to put on mid, it's a really advantageous flank to take. You're able to get a lot of value from those flanks. I think especially like on left, if you can set up like at their tent, really good place to live, really good place to ride around.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see if any flanks will happen from either their decaf or I do believe Cat in the Bag does have a tent player, so I'm excited to see if there's going to be any crazy fights that this tent is going to be, or if they're going to be more of a supportive turf painter instead. Because I've met both. Some are more aggressive, some are more passive. So I'm excited to see what this tent has to offer for Cat in the Bag.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think we are still wait on something. Okay. What kind of counter picks do you think that Flame Runners? Well, I mean, I haven't had a chance to look too closely at Cannabag's comp. What do you think if Flame Runners goes down one on this map? What do you think would be a good strong pick for them to counter pick?
Not too sure. It just honestly depends on if they're going to keep that bow and dynamo pick. They're gonna have to make sure they keep a map in mind that is not too super hilly, just because that bow needs a flatter surface just so they can get more critical points. So they did keep a stronger push in during humpback, and I'm excited to see if they're going to pick Robo Ramen just because it is a very strong map for them to push, even though they did manage to go down on that one, just because their decaf did manage to go down a couple times during that elbow.
True.
But seeing how Pocket Aces ran that, they might be able to take that energy that Pocket Aces had and kind of match that into Robo Ramen.
Yeah, something that I think is interesting. We saw a bow Dynamo pick on both teams during semis, and I don't remember if it was Chara or Squid School or it was someone. But they were talking about having kind of like pairing up Dynamo and Bow has been this idea that I think some teams have been trying to see how effective it is. Instead of having like a frontline fighting pair, you have like this midline backline pair where that Bow tries to paint for that Dynamo, kind of acts as their guardian, and then that Dynamo is able to lock down whatever area of the map that they need. And I think that we were able to see some interesting play where those two weapons were able to act as like a midline, backline fighting pair. Curious, excited to see if that's something we see going forward into these finals.
Yeah, definitely. Coming into seeing how many people are playing these Dynamo and Bow Pumps, they kind of are like the Cosmo and Wanda of Splatoon right now. They're constantly working together to make sure that they can both be like the pros to each person so they can get both the chip comp and the support for both of them at the same time while also maintaining their front line so they can stay aggressive in these pushes while also making sure that they have the positive reinforcements as a back line so they make sure that these flanks don't get too out of hand.
Mm-hmm. I think also for Haggle Market, I think for Haggle Market, something that I hope to see is the Wiper. I hope to see it just because it's the only weapon I play. But I think this is also, just with Decap, a really strong map for Wiper. Taking those flanks, being able to... I think left flank is a really strong opening. Being able to pull attention, pull paint off a zone is a really strong play that I think you can make. Really strong play that I hope to see.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this decaf is going to push up as fast as possible, and it's looking like we're getting ready to finally start the match,
Okay.
guys.
Wow, okay. Good thing. We promised we weren't stalling at all. Alright, loading into here, we have pretty much the same aim comp that we saw from Flame Runners, and in Cat in the Bag, oh, we see a Rattler. I love to see that from Twistifer, V-Roller, V-Shot, and Sorella Brella.
It's looking like Cat in the Bag here is running a completely almost backless comp here against a double backline comp here. It's kind of exciting to see since Cat in the Bag is looking like they're going as aggressive as they can, but they do lose control as quickly as they can and backing up as fast as possible just so they can stay alive. A stamp gets thrown and it's going crazy.
Yeah, that Wiper, Yomu was able to play those ledges, looks to get a pick on the roller. They do secure it. Those chumps come out. They're going to be able to actually maybe take some space on their plat. They elect to stay off of it as Flame Runner starts to push back out. It looks like we're almost down to halfway through the points. 3 go down on the side of Cat in a Bag, and we get a wipe against Cat in a Bag from Flame Runners.
Looking like a great push here. They have quite a few numbers to go down just so they can get that equal points down as much as possible. But it's looking like Cat in the Bag is kind of coming back as fast as possible. Flame Runners is trying as much as they can as well.
Yep, that V-Shot is able to play that drop really well. Decav from Cat in a Bag drops down. Flame Runners playing that left flank really well to be able to stall out that push out from Cat in a Bag. Cat in a Bag is almost able to get the flip. They're coolered up. I think if we're able to get a strong hold, we'll be able to get that penalty point off and really be able to eke out this lead here.
Yeah, it is interesting to see. Oh,
Oh,
that was crazy. That Zuka
Zuka.
a slap in the face and gets 2 down for Flame Runners here. Cat in the bag going as fast as possible to get that zone back so they can get those penalty points back in for Flame Runners. And they're just hitting the ground running, making sure that they can get as much space in turf as they can to make sure they can keep this as close in their turf as possible.
Yep. Okay, looks like Cat in a Bag here is able to start having to push out of their plat. Looks like Cat in a Bag is keeping Flame Runners pushed out really, really well.
Yeah, it's looking like Flame Runners being that decap being in the pit here is not a good place for them to be, especially with only 9 ticks down for Flame Runners, and they managed to stall. Are they going to be able to keep the zone on their side and flip it? But they managed to, so it's looking like Cat in the Bag does have to push back here a little bit just to make sure they can keep everyone alive. A person does go down for Flame Runners, and they're trying to make sure they can get this zone back for them as fast as possible.
Yeah. Oh, hammer throw from the Wiper. It looks like Flame Runners is able to secure mid. Tries to get the jet. They get it. This is my Wiper goat right here. Oh my god. Yumo is getting a lot of picks, a lot of value from that mobility.
Yeah, definitely. That Stamper was getting a lot of great picks, especially for that jet, causing so many issues at the early point of the games. It's looking like there's about to be a Zuka that comes out soon for Cat in the Bag, but it's looking like they're just trying to get that decap out as fast as possible, and that ends up with a trade. So they do lose the Zuka, but they do manage to gain the zone back for Cat in the Bag.
It looks like Cat in the Bag here is able to get control of mid. Getting pushed out, they're really, even with all that paint, they're not able to sustain it for that long between the Rattler, the Dynamo, the Sorella. Wiper gets a pick off on the flank here. I think that Flame Runners has a strong control of mid here. We get a pick on the side of Cat in a Bag. Wiper elects to use their hammer like Azuka, doesn't find the pick. Twister
Only
comes
2
out.
points penalty left. Is Flame Runners managing to get the zone back, or are they going to lose it? It's going to be such a close game to everyone, and they do manage to get the win. Oh, wait, no, never mind. I spoke too soon. This is going to be a flip, so it's going to stay even longer with only 15 seconds left. Is this going to end up in overtime?
That roller somehow does not get the horizontal flick. They jump back to mid. Cat in a Bag has really strong control of mid. Flame Runners is going to have to get the right amount of specials out as that penalty points are ticking down. One go down on each side, but still those penalty points are getting close. And it looks like Cat in a Bag might be able to secure the win here. Oh, but they lose control. And I believe Flame Runners
Flame Runners
the win.
end up getting it with only a 3-point difference, which is crazy.
Yeah, that Zuka was one that I felt in my soul. Sometimes, like, you just watch the replay, and I think I felt that Zuka. That hurt a little.
I felt that Zuka in my soul as a backline. You know it's coming, but you still can't even do anything about it. So you just have to accept your fate and just get slapped in the face by a Zuka, and your teammates are going to get upset, and you just have to say, well, I couldn't do anything about it. It came out of nowhere. So it's kind of interesting to see how they're running double Zuka, and if they're going to keep running that, or if it was just for zones. And since they're running double backline, they're going against the double backline comp, I'm kind of excited to see if they're going to keep this more aggressive frontline pace with more supportive painters, or if they're going to actually put in a backline now.
Got hit with the Zuka of Doom and Despair.
So true.
Okay. So, with that, the counter pick goes to Cat in a Bag. And it looks like we have an upcoming pick here of Power Control on Inkblot. I think we're going to pull that up soon. PC Tower Control is one that I think you're definitely going to want to probably favor Dynamo like we've been having.
Yeah, I'm particularly excited to see if they're going to keep that jet in or not, because they seem to be favoriting that jet as much as possible. But because Film Runners is getting that wiper to get down and just crush that jet as fast as possible. Oh my gosh, is that a frozen? I love that weapon. Okay, this is a much different comp than what both teams were running last time. Okay.
Yeah, Pro is a really cool weapon. I think this is a discussion that I feel I have a lot, but I really think it's interesting that a lot of people label it as a support weapon when it has pretty quick kill time, pretty decent killing power. It looks like that wiper gets punished from trying to take that stack.
Looking like Flame Runners is trying to get a flank here with this decal, but they're kind of stumbling on the stack here, trying to get a pick. But they managed to get the carbon down. But now that their presence is known, they get called out by 3 people. So that push for Flame Runners does get called out very quickly. So I'm excited to see how they're going to call out and try to make this push last even longer.
Yeah, Flame Runners has numbers. They have resources. Missiles go out. I think with those missiles, they're going to be able to get some momentum. They get 2 picks, 3 picks, and that's a wipe out on the side of Cat in a Bag. Decaf going for those bats, trying to lock that position down. We're going to see a bubble here in just a second as they start to try and take control of those bats.
Yep, it's looking like Flame Runners is definitely getting past that checkpoint as fast as possible and getting the lead with the decap in the bat. So they have to make sure they can get these bats cleared out so they can make sure they can keep this game as close as possible. And they managed to get 2 down, but also 1 goes down for Cat in the Bag. 2 actually for Cat in the Bag. So this is going to be a scrappy fight just to even keep the tower close to mid.
Yep, Cat in a Bag controls mid, starting to turn yellow. It looks like Kong is going for a shark, trying to get around, get a good pick with his decab, and there gets the first pick, gets the second pick, trying to find a third. Oh, third goes down, and that bubble is starting to race towards that second check.
That was a delayed wipe that Decaf just got, which is kind of crazy. So it's looking like he's wanting to be right where he belongs. Gets knocked out immediately by the carbon here. Are they going to shred the bubble or not? It's time to see here. They do not, but they do manage to get the pick that did come up to the bats here. And I'm excited to see if they're going to try and kind of push these fights as much as possible. The double team there was kind of nasty. So, and hits another one with the Zuka. So, Flame Runners is down a teammate, but so is Cat in the Bag.
Yeah, Gray going for a shark here, waiting for that tower to get in close. Zuka trying to take out Gray. They jump out just in time. It looks like Cat in a Bag is starting to try and get control of this flank. Going for the bats. Dynamo goes down. Oh, but 2-2 up on each side. I don't know if Cat in the Bag here is going to be able to get this control, this push. And it looks like Flame Runners is able to stop it, and they're starting to push forward.
Yeah, such an unfortunate pick that was managed to happen on tower here. It's looking like Flame Runners does have a bit more special advantage here since they seem to be using them more at advantage corners here, while Cat in the Bag doesn't seem to be using them as much to kind of use the stall points here. But as I say, that one goes down for Cat in the Bag, so I'm excited to see how they're going to move with Flame Runners using their aggressive wipers to kind of just go super crazy around these stacks that are trying to be used for their backline, but doesn't seem to work with these dampers.
Yeah, looks like this Viper's trying to find an opening to that bats, but that's a really easy entry to deny, as even if you have a dynamo, anything to pre-fire that rail. It looks like they're content just trying to get some flicks, and I think the carbon trades them out from the bats. Oh, we have a jet going on here.
Like a jet here trying to clear out the court here. But it's looking like they do get called out for that by the decap. Decap going back out and getting a pick from the bubble. Are they going to clear out this bats here by themselves here?
Looks like Decaf is able to deploy their own bubble, try and clear out the tower. They do, and it looks like Flame Runners gets to keep their push going with 2 down on the side of Cat in a Bag. Their Wiper goes down, trying to take up some space. The roller is just up in their spawn.
That's crazy. Yeah, that decaf was holding on as long as they could for Flame Runners, which was getting constant picks as Cat in the Back was just kind of hopping onto tower, trying to see if they could stop them as much as possible. They have a lot of turf to cover up and points to get if they want to stay in. With only 19 seconds left, they have to make sure that they can keep their special and paint up as much as possible so they can get this flip back.
Yeah, if you're Flame Runners, you just really gotta hold on to like those Fro Pro missiles, or just get a near wipe like that and make sure that you have tower for these last few seconds. And that is game.
Wow.
I'm really curious to see what the next counter pick is, because I don't know about you, but in like that kind of position, first counter pick, I'm gonna try and pick our team's strongest map.
Yeah, and seeing how that went, even though granted it was close at the beginning, it just seemed like Cat in the Bag was having some issues with their specials because granted they did have a Zimmy, I was not seeing a lot of bubbles come out at all. So I was wondering if they should have just stuck to the Zuka mini and try to use that to get that decap out as soon as possible because man, that decap was definitely causing some issues in bats.
Yeah, I play with somebody who has pretty much just all the mini kits that they like to pull out. That bubble is really good for those checks. Like you can make those checks fall pretty quickly, really nice and safe. The Zuka can certainly get a lot of value out of displacing those backlines, but with how many just walls and ledges and things can get in the way, it can certainly be tricky, I think, to get high value out of your Zukas there.
Most definitely. So I'm wondering how Cat in the Bag is going to run against this, especially with Zone's Crab Lake Capital coming in. Since they have that double backline, so they're going to have more of that advantageous point for Flame Runners since they will have that double backline on Great. So I'm wondering how Cat in the Bag is going to push against this backline going on top of Greats and trying to make sure they can keep that zone as close as possible to themselves.
Yeah, really curious to see what our next counter pick is here. I think that Cat in a Bag, they have decent paint. They have good paint. I think they just need to find that little bit of extra killing power to try and get Flame Runners to go down.
All right, and it is looking like it's going to be Zone's Crab Lake Capital. So I'm excited to see how they're going to run against this.
Indeed. Zone's Crab Leg, very long map. I think you're on something like a backlist comp, you're gonna have a bit of a struggle. Curious why this is what we're loading into.
All right, it's looking like a pen is coming out for Cat in the Bag here, which I'm excited to see as an avid pen lover. So I'm excited to see how they're going to run against this painting comp against a double backline and see how they're going to get this carbon in and kind of go crazy. As I say that as the carbon goes down, but that mini is painting for their lives to keep that zone neutral.
Yep, Flame Runners gets the initial flip, but 2 go down. We're cleared up on the side of Cat in a Bag. I think we're going to be able to have a lot of momentum to try and get a lockout here.
Most definitely. It's looking like Flame Runners is trying to keep on. That stamp is going super crazy. They did unfortunately just waste their stamp as they tried to get that pick, but they did go down. Cat in the Bag having to relocate their pen here, which is going to be a bit of a struggle as that stamper is going in as fast as possible. And they're going to have to recap this zone that is pretty far away as these stamps are trying to get as much picks as possible on this backline.
It looks like 2 are down on the side of Flame Runners, but they have a really good, strong control of mid. Cat in a Bag goes for the Zuka, finds a pick, can't find the third.
It's looking like during that time while they were 2 down, they did not manage to get the zone. So Flame Runners does still have the point advantage at this point. And if they can't get this in, this is going to be a very quick game of zones crab leg because they have 2 people up on top of right. And their pen and carbon just cannot get out as much as they can because that turf is just not getting painted for that carbon to go anywhere.
Yeah, it looks like Flame Runners 2 go down. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to sustain this paint, but no, it flipped back under their control. We're at almost at flip. Cat in a Bag gets the flip back, but we're just scrapping and scuffing out on mid. 2 go down on Flame Runners. 1 goes back down on Cat in a Bag, and it looks like Flame Runners is back in control of mid and trying to keep Cat in a Bag locked out.
Yeah, it's looking like that decaf was just staying in their court for a bit longer than they should have thought, so they kind of got punished for that, it seems. But they are going back as strong as possible, getting that zone back onto their side, and that Gal and Minnie are pushing up as much as they can. The decaf does go down onto Flame Runners, and Cat in the Bag is going up as much as they can just to make sure they can keep that turf up on their side and get that carbon in to go super crazy.
Looks like Cat in a Bag isn't able to keep control of mid in a way that they would like. Viper coming up, trying to harass, goes down. Gal is finding a lot of really good, valuable picks. We're getting jumps in, but we're not able to get control of mid just yet until we're able to get those picks. 2 go down on Cat in a Bag, back down to 3, and I think Flame Runners, they're looking for a really strong just ability to camp those ledges.
Yeah, that DKIV is definitely bloodthirsty at this point, trying to get for getting these sharks in and just wanting to get these kills as fast as possible. But gets called out by the Gal, and the Gal does get 2, but gets called out. So the both teams are 2 down. They have to go for that zone, or else this is game.
Oh, and I think that is game.
That is game. Flame Runners does get a clean swipe with 0-3.
Yeah, I think Cat in a Bag, they just had trouble just being able to get the picks that they needed really consistently. But really good games from both sides. And I think that is our gold bracket set for Shark Tank Shallow Waters.
Yeah. I'm kind of... It is kind of crazy to see how close the games were for Pocket Aces and Flame Runners, and then just Flame Runners coming in wanting to say that they are the best and they want to win. And they just went crazy on Cat in a Bag, and they just wanted to get a clean sweep as much as they can to just get it done. With how late it is at night, I can't really blame them, but I'm super happy with how these teams played out. It was super good games all around, and it was very interesting to see how most of these teams were playing double backline with Bo and Dynamo, actually, because I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, that's something that I'm curious to see if we'll start seeing more of in comp. I mean, that's a lot of AoE. I'm curious if, maybe one day we'll just get V Blaster with Inkline and V Dynamo, and then we'll just have the most meta AoE comp of all time.
Most definitely. As somebody who's a good friend with somebody who is an avid Bulbs stringer player, they love to play Bow and only Bow. So I might see if they are super excited to see if lower levels are actually kind of pushing into this meta of Dynamo and Bow to see what they think about this, because this is truly something I'm not expecting, because I'm very used to just the casual like Carbon and Pen player that is just super common in higher levels. So I'm super excited to see how this meta is going for lower levels.
Oh yeah. All right. So again, GG's, well played to Flame Runners. Enjoy your Blaha NFT, and I hope everybody has a good night.
Yeah, and where can people find you as well, by the way?
Yeah, I am on Blue Sky, Rinsler, RYNNCLYR. I app on there, and sometimes I do stuff. I've been commentating for Ladies Night as well. Yeah, I yearn to hear more from Smolly. Where can I find more of you?
You can find me on Twitch here, actually. I stream from time to time Splatoon and other random games, but I'm trying to get into more of commentary, so I'm super excited to be more on Shark Tank and other possible opportunities as well. I'm super excited. This was such a great set to commentate on, and once again, congratulations to all of the teams working on getting better in Shark Tank as well. Every team was super amazing to watch.
All right. Have a good night, everyone. Be good.